from every genre.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Buy tickets now at AXS.com.
As if the iHeartRadio app wasn't great enough already.
Wait, you mean it's better now?
You can now send voice messages directly to us through the app.
Send a clear message.
Keeping you informed and in touch. News Talk 550 KFYI. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Mercury resume play tonight against the Washington Mystics. Brandon Falk takes the hill for the D-backs in the opener of their two-game set against the Dodgers. The Snakes enter the contest on a 6-game losing streak. The Cardinals released their depth chart ahead of Friday's preseason game against the Broncos. Top pick Paris Johnson is at right tackle. Quarterback Colt McCoy listed as the team starter. The team holding their second-to-last open practice of the preseason. The final one is tomorrow. Former Sun Mikal Bridges had 14 for Team USA in yesterday's exhibition win against Puerto Rico, while Cam Johnson scored 15. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now, your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Yeah! Text the nationwide keyword WIN to 200-200. You get a confirmation text. Okay. Info, standard data, and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's WIN to 200-200. This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Tuesday, look for mostly sunny conditions, also fairly breezy out there throughout the rest of the afternoon. Temperatures topping out close to 108 with a slight chance of seeing some storms develop for tonight, with those temperatures dipping down into the upper 80s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's BOGO $1 deal. Wendy's BOGO $1 deal is back at participating Wendy's. Buy a dough single, spicy chicken sandwich, or medium frosty, and get another for $1. Double your deliciousness. Hurry, this BOGO deal won't last.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. on Fox Sports 910.
Come with me. Come with me. Yeah. Come with me. Come with me. Because when I bring the state football, they defer to him. But he is so excited because the flip charts. Yes, it's like the new purpose I had. What purpose I had? Just start laughing and over the jerk. I stay right. Yeah, but folks, but what a good turn is there for. Those are the purpose that match the football we have ready to pass through. We're definitely talking about I guess the story came to this story. Yeah. He's there, we got her about there for like 3 minutes. Then we're ready to for Southwest or East Cape. We got here. It is a beautiful new freight surface. Becky, it's like her steamy. And I think like when you're rich and you're going to be further the Ridgecraft. It's down by 104 degrees. Keep it around. She said like her people wearing sweaters.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
Some of the things looking at this team overall that I don't know, maybe they have a kind of a quasi exorcism on the bats like they did with Major League. Yeah, I remember that. Throw the bats in the room, put some starter fluid on it, light them for about 3 or 4 minutes, put it out. Let's go.
Serrano. They need Serrano in here to exorcise the demons.
Who's it, Juba?
Juba. Yeah.
The great God for his bat.
Brandon Pfaadt is a guy who you referenced, threw pretty well the other day, but he has struggled a lot, and his struggles have come against good teams, and that's exactly what he's got tonight in the Dodgers.
Well, yeah, and you look at Urias, he's 8-6, 4.69 ERA. You talk about Pfaadt, his ERA is at 7.11.
Yeah.
This could be with the Dodgers, blowing out. Winning
they blew out the
Padres last night with that big victory. Was it 12? They scored 12 runs. They came back late. They got 6 of them in the 4th inning.
Yeah,
followed by another big inning after that. So this is that time where you got to go make hay, guys, and nobody's feeling sorry for you.
No,
just go make it happen. And if you get Sewald into another safe position, he wants that ball back to make up for amends of what happened on Sunday.
Absolutely. All right, more on the D-backs and Dodgers coming up here on the show. The college football scene continues to have all kinds of twists and turns. And you now have Stanford and Cal kind of shopping their wares, hoping to catch on with maybe the ACC. The ACC, according to reports, had a conference call with the presidents, but there was no vote taken. Manuch, how would the ACC benefit from taking, aside from getting the San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose Bay Area television market, How would they benefit by having two schools on the left coast?
They're a coastal team, right? And don't all the oceans connect at one point or the other?
Eventually.
So the left coast and the right coast. I don't know, Jimmy, but right now, Cal and Stanford, Washington State and Oregon State are teams without a home for next year.
They are.
And it's very unfortunate. And, a couple things that just broke here while we were getting ready for the show is the ACC did meet. They're just undecided at this time whether Cal or Stanford, to your point there, Jimmy, is wanting to come, or they want them to come. Mm-hmm. And then basically you look at some of the other stories that are breaking right now. It looks like San Diego State was looking to try to form the Mountain West and what's left of the Pac-4 and combine something like that. That fell flat on its face. It was like a lead balloon trying to take off at a birthday party. So there's nothing happening there. I would think at some point the Mountain West would try to absorb Cal and Stanford, but why would Cal want to? I mean, think of them. They'd snuff their nose at something like that, would they not?
Absolutely.
We're not going to the Mountain West.
And so would Stanford.
That's beneath us.
Yeah.
Well, they may have no choice. But I would certainly say there may be something where Cal, Stanford, whether it's ACC, maybe, I don't know, the Big 12, they're done for now. The Big 10 is done for now.
Yep.
I really don't know, Jimmy. I think at this point in time, the SEC is not going to absorb them. The ACC is really their only way to go, at least for now.
And they would probably, I think, have to bring also Oregon State and Washington State with them in order that you have 4 teams on the left coast to make it really viable. Otherwise, you're just crisscrossing the country every weekend.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that, for now, I mean, here it is August 8th, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, for now, but the things could change. I mean, you could have the Stanford people and the Cal people, get to the ACC folks. But the ACC has tabled it for now.
They have.
They're very aware of it. They understand what's going on. They understand where the Pac-12 is. But I think what they're thinking, again, is for the ancillary sports or the Olympic sports.
Sure.
Those kind of things as far as traveling, going back and forth across the country. Will these teams have enough money? Do they want to add 2 more teams and divvy that pot up? How strong is their TV conference? I mean, their TV revenue. The only area that I would see is Stanford and Cal going to the ACC if there's a strong commitment for Florida State and Clemson to move on, and then they would backfill with those
I
two
see
teams.
what you're saying. Okay.
That, for now, is the only logical explanation that they want to backfill if Florida State and Clemson leave.
Interesting. So that brings us then to our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question of the day. And for a free quote, repair or installation, just head to state48roofing.com. You can always follow them on social media by searching #sexy roof status. Here's the question. What are the downsides to the new conference realignment in college sports? And you have 4 options. 1, conferences are too big. 2, lack of rivalries. 3, too much travel. And Manuch, you outdid yourself on this one. 4, other. I'm not sure where you were going with the other, but okay, I'll accept it.
Well, I think other is okay. There may be some other factors.
How about
pretty much?
How about instead of other, all of the above?
Well, that's just too easy. We want you got to give a definite. We're not politics here, folks. All right, Governor Jimmy B over there. You're either on the fence or you're not. So I'm not. I'm kind of leaning toward lack of rivalries right now. If that rival that you had for so many years, i.e. USC, UCLA going to the Big Ten.
Yep.
You got ASU and U of A going to the
Big
12. But there are some other teams in there that are going to be added. Those are the only 2 rivalries. You got the Michigan, Ohio States. That's the big rivalry. USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington. That's a big rivalry. That's at there. But right now, when you take a good hard look at it, quite a few votes on this so far. The leaders in the clubhouse are too much travel at 37.5%.
Uh-huh.
And the other's lack of rivalries at 37.5%. Conference too big. Can never get too big as far as I'm concerned. That's at 12.5%. And then the others at 12.5%. So go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter, and you can go ahead and vote as well.
So the Cardinals releasing their depth chart today, and Manuch is all excited about that. Was there anything on the depth chart that surprised you, or was it pretty much what you anticipated?
No, I think it's pretty much par. I think we'll get into it, but I think Hamilton is a starting corner. on the other side of Marco Wilson.
Yeah.
And then it looks like they found a spot for Isaiah Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that on the other side.
You got that right. Hey, the top headlines are always presented by the sports book at the CAZ Sports Bar. You can always go there and watch all the Major League Baseball games, soccer, boxing, UFC matches. Everything that you want is all incorporated right at Casino Arizona, CAZ Sports Bar, and the CAZ Sports Book. They always have great food and drink specials as well. Plus, you got to try the Roc and Manuch Lager. It is brewed by Huss Brewing. It's all available to you. CAZ Sports Book at the CAZ Sports Bar. Details on much more at rockandmanuch.com. All right, coming up, it'll be our Valley Chevy Dealers Sounds of the Night. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox 910.
It's coming next month. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's Monday night tailgate party at Casino, Arizona. They're planning their biggest year yet. Go get ready to win your share of the cash prizes each week. It's back, the Monday night tailgate at Casino, Arizona.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive going on now. New inventory arriving daily. See your Valley Chevy dealers today.
I often get asked, how can Lerner & Rowe effectively handle DUI and criminal cases when you guys are a personal injury law firm? The answer is simple. We're good at it. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a separate law firm from Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys, and we have some of the most experienced criminal defense attorneys available, including one of only a few certified criminal attorneys in Arizona who have handled thousands of criminal and DUI cases. And we offer affordable payment plans. Getting the defense you need is one phone call away.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Manifesting. It's key to wealth. What do you want to manifest?
I want $500.
Say it again.
I want $500.
A couple more times.
I want $500. I want $500.
I meant a couple hundred more times.
There's an easier way you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less when you download Dave. No credit check, no late fees. Download the Dave app now or go to dave.com. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal eligibility criteria and instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve, member FDIC.
The extracurricular activities, the traffic, the nightly homework, the traffic, the finding time to eat dinner together as a family, the traffic. Back to school can be stressful. Thanks to Ziploc, meal prep doesn't have to be. New Ziploc bags with Stay Open design have a patented stand-up bottom that helps keep the bag upright and a top crease that folds and holds for easy filling, unlocking a second set of hands in the kitchen. If only it unlocked a second set of lanes. New Ziploc brand freezer and storage bags with Stay Open design from S.C. Johnson, a family company.
You guys are live.
All right, everybody, welcome back in Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910. We are here at the Barrio Queen in Queen Creek. It is Taco Tuesday. It's also El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. Time now for the Chevy Dealers Sounds of the Night, always presented by your Valley Chevy Dealers. And hey, look, we know football is getting underway. Preseason begins on Thursday and runs through the entire weekend. How would you like to watch it on a brand new 65-inch smart TV? Well, here's all you have to do. Just text Chevy. Text Chevy to 59925. That's Chevy to 59925. You'll automatically be entered in the drawing to win that 65-inch smart TV. It's all courtesy of our great partnership with the Valley Chevy Dealers. And if you need more details, just go to our website, rockandmanuch.com. Once again, just text Chevy to 59925. All right, now let us do indeed get to the Valley Chevy Dealers Sounds of the Night. And this is the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon, and he's talking right now a little bit about the challenge and the transition that this team is going to have to make. Take a listen.
I wouldn't say challenge. It's been fun. Just getting to implement, how I've kind of always saw things run. I've been under some really good head coaches that gave me a pretty good blueprint for how to do it. But it's honestly been exciting to put together the plan with the entire staff and listen to everybody's input, use their brains, and then see it, up close and in person. And I think our players appreciate the time that went into, putting together a plan for them to try to maximize themselves.
Jimmy, I think the key there is for Coach Gannon is for being a coach to a coordinator, you're around enough head coaches to understand what it takes for them to basically coordinate everything. And for him right there to say, look, it isn't the transition is not difficult, it's just a challenge, meaning if he's got a good staff around him, how he organizes things and can trust his other coaches,
his assistants.
The challenge is how do I get everybody to do what I want them to do? Hell, if it was me, I'd be up 24/7, 365 just to make sure I got it right. So I think he's human, but I think he's kind of downplaying it.
Okay,
I think he wants to kind of it's not bad. I got this. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? I'd be frazzled until I got everything organized. So it sounds like he's been around it enough to make sure that he's got people in place to help that transition.
Okay. Do you think he's kind of hedging his bet a little bit because his offense and defensive coordinators are both so young as well?
Well, I think that might be to a point, but I think that he's got full-blown confidence in them. Otherwise, he wouldn't say that.
He wouldn't.
No, and he's not even going to bring that up, Jimmy.
Yeah.
The age, the youth, whatever. He's just going, we've got the people we want. We're going to move forward with it.
Okay, here's Gannon once again. Kyler Murray, as everybody knows, is continuing his rehab. May not see the field until the end of September, first part of October. Here is the head coach once again on getting him back on the field.
He's doing good. He's taking it day by day. He's improving every day. He's one, like everyone leaves in the summer for 5 weeks. He's here every day. You know what I mean? He wants to get back out there, but he's got a ways to go as far as where he can feel comfortable mentally and physically before he steps out there. But he wants to be with his teammates. But physically, mentally, he's doing a really good job.
Have you had to kind of pull him back a little bit?
A little bit. His mindset is one of I want to play, and we want him to play too. But it's more so. Just go through the process and make sure we're getting a little bit better each day, and he's adjusting to it well.
And thank you to NFL Network for those two audio clips. Your thoughts on that? And I would expect, knowing Kyler Murray and the kind of competitor that he is, that he wants to get out as soon as he can.
Jimmy, it's just common coach speak.
Yeah.
What do you want him to say?
Yeah. He's not doing well.
Yeah.
We're nervous as hell.
We felt this time it could be another 2 months. Of course he's in there working and getting himself ready and trying to do all the things he can to get himself ready to go. But I will guarantee you this, that Jonathan Gannon and Monty Austinfort, the general manager, are not going to put him out there unless he's 110%.
Okay.
And not only physically, but mentally, he can react and respond by not thinking about it and going through the motions in a hesitant way. So I think what Monty said, what Jonathan Gannon said there was, yeah, he's ready, he's working hard, and we hope to have him back soon. But in the meantime,
this is what you have.
This is what we're going for.
Yeah.
I would love to hear him say, you know what? Right now, he's really slowing his progress, and his butt should be here all the time. Like the last several years, he's finally here because he's got an injury. And we're just going to have to look at Colt McCoy and and look at the other quarterbacks and some of the other get their butts ready just in case he doesn't get where we want him to get to. The honesty would just be like, wow,
not going to happen.
No, it won't.
No, it doesn't happen. One of the teams that is expected to challenge for the Super Bowl is the San Francisco 49ers. They are loaded at every position. But the big story, of course, is former Dan Manucci, the quarterback whisperer's protege, and that is the one, the only, Brock Purdy out of Iowa State. Coming off the injury, but according to what the coach says, Mike Shanahan, that he is, or I should say Kyle Shanahan, pardon me, Mike's his dad, Kyle Shanahan, that it's a situation where they really are not limiting him that much right now in practice. And so now here's what he has to say about being fortunate to not only have Purdy, but also Trey Lance.
when we drafted Trey, we knew we were going to give him the keys eventually. And I remember the first time I talked to Jimmy, telling him, whatever rookie we drafted, whoever it was, if you come in on your stuff, like, it's going to be hard for any of these guys to beat you out. And that was the case the first year. And we wanted it to be that way. We wanted Jimmy to play and to ease Trey in. And that is really what happened. And we got to the NFC Championship game, came up short. But we knew where we were going the next year, and we gave that to Trey, and he was having a hell of a camp, getting ready to go. And we're also really impressed with our 7th-round draft choice, Brock, who was getting third-team reps at the time. But the more we watched him, we realized, this guy's going to play good in the preseason. We don't want to risk putting him on a practice squad. Are we okay with having a rookie starter basically in Trey and a rookie backup as number 2 with Brock? And that made us a little nervous just because neither of them had gone out there and done it. And we're watching Jimmy, who we all every day throw, and we all know the player Jimmy is. And once we started to realize the trade market wasn't there, we thought that it made sense. Me just personally, I was like, man, this would be a good situation for Jimmy. I know we'd love to have him come back up Trey in case something happened, up putting all that pressure on Brock. And then when I kind of sat with Jimmy and talked to him, what was best for him, what was best for us, we both came to the conclusion that'd be great for him to come here and be the backup. And first quarter of the second game, he was back to being our starter. And I was like, wow, I'm glad that we got him because, man, I don't want to have to put Brock in that situation for an entire year and the pressure. But Jimmy ended up coming in, playing well. I think he played about 6 games, And then he got hurt, and then Brock came in. And, I just remember our owner saying, well, he said how good this guy was. And I was like, yeah, but that's practice. Yeah. This is real, so don't hold me to it yet. And he came in and looked the same way in games that he did in practice, and we had 7 games with him, and he played at as high of a level as I believe he could play, and it's kind of what made it easy going into this year.
That's unbelievable how all of this has played out, and he recapped it very nicely.
I think with the value of having those 3 guys, and also he talked about Sam Darnold coming in as a backup. Now you've got with Brock, Sam Darnold, and Trey Lance, and I think Brad Allen is the other quarterback that's also looked pretty good. They will make sure that they have an experienced quarterback if a Brock Purdy were to go down again, like they had Jimmy G when he was backing up Trey. He broke it all down. But last year they had, I believe it was Johnson was the quarterback, the kid that was backing up Brock. There was only 2 that they had.
Right.
So they'll make sure they carry 3 all the time just in case things fall apart like they did in that NFC Championship game. So right now they've got house money with the 3 quarterbacks that they have, really 4. And it'll be interesting to see that once Brock is ready to go, I feel he'll still be the starter. After that, Sam Darnold's your backup. And then at that point in time, I think that Trey Lance will be the luxury you have as your 3rd-string quarterback.
You don't see a team inquiring on, can we get this guy?
I think they will, Jim. I think that several teams go, hey, look, would you look to trade? We need a backup. We need a talent we want to develop behind this guy or that guy. Maybe a long-in-the-tooth veteran that's out there, but what would they give up for him? So I think that if the Niners are going to give up a guy that they gave up, they moved up to get the 3rd pick of the draft a few years ago.
Right.
They're going to have to get some kind of cachet in the draft.
I don't think somebody's going to offer them that, though.
And they may not. And if they're happy with Darnold, Brock, and this Allen kid that's in there that says he's doing really well,
right?
But I'd be careful because Trey Lance, he's a hell of a talent. He's just still real raw.
Nobody has seen him. That's the problem.
We saw him for 1 game.
That was it.
Saw him for 1 or 2 games. He got hurt. And thank God they had Jimmy G there to kind of be that buffer, be that backup so Brock could learn and see. And once Jimmy G got hurt, Brock had taken enough reps as the backup and gotten himself ready to be able to pick up the ball at that point and run with it.
All right, we're going to dive into the Arizona Cardinals. They have a date with the Denver Broncos on Friday night. It'll be the first NFL preseason game for the Cards and the Broncos. And already Sean Payton, the head coach of the Broncos, says that Russell Wilson is going to get some time on the field. We're going to dive into all of that. Former Cardinals defensive end Kyle Vanden Bosch is coming up next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
What's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix?
Mercury star Diana Taurasi was named the WNBA's Western Conference Player of the Week for becoming the first in league history to amass 10,000 career points. Brandon Pfaadt takes the hill for the Diamondbacks in the opener of their 2-game set against the Dodgers. The Snakes enter the game on a 6-game losing streak. The Cardinals released their depth chart ahead of Friday's preseason game with the Broncos. Top pick Paris Johnson is at right tackle, while quarterback Colt McCoy is listed as the team starter. The Coyotes announced single-game tickets will go on sale August 11th. Their home opener is October 21st against the Ducks. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Whether it's beer and wings with the guys or a steak or ribs with that special someone, Tavern Grill Scottsdale is a casual sports bar and grill with something for everyone. Visit us today at 8880 East Via Linda, Tavern Grill in Scottsdale.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's the escape you crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's Summer Playcation Package. Starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer Playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at wrighttoyota.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-981-9615. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do.
I got him.
They got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes, and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-981-9615 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-981-9615. 800-981-9615. 800-981-9615.
The superbly versatile all-electric EQB from Mercedes-Benz. It's impressively techy and surprisingly roomy with available seating for up to 7. The vehicle is all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Learn more at mbusa.com/EQB. Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley Barrio Queen locations. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
All right, everybody, we are broadcasting this afternoon from the Barrio Queen in Queen Creek. Great crowd already on hand for lunch. We are here until 4 o'clock, and that means it is a Taco Tuesday and also an El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. Kyle Vanden Bosch, former Cardinal, Titan, Lions defensive end, is our guest right now. He joins us on the Wright Toyota guest line. Kyle, it's Jimmy B and Manuch today. I know that being the football guy that you are, did you run to your laptop and look at all of the depth charts that were available for the National Football League?
It's kind of like Christmas for a lot of us. I'm going to check out the depth chart.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out.
Yeah, I always do look forward to the first depth chart. Now, typically, the first depth chart, it comes with a disclaimer from the head coach saying, hey, we just kind of slapped it together to get through this game. I don't know if you remember last year with the Cardinals, I don't think any of the starters were even listed on the depth chart. So, it's typically not very accurate. But you have to assume you can take a little bit from this. Jonathan Gannon, to this point, to my knowledge, has not had that disclaimer of, just take it with a grain of salt. We're just trying to get a team out there on the field. He said from day one that this is going to be at every position, an open competition, and everybody needs to earn their job. So, you do get a feeling that while there may be, some adjustments, that this is, to a degree pretty accurate, but that's, we haven't had any live football yet. And when the pads start popping, things typically change.
It's interesting you say that, Kyle, because I look at all this like you with a grain of salt. You go, okay, this could change. But it's that 5 days before the first game of the season on September 10th that you look at it and go, okay, now let me look at the depth chart. Who washed out? Who didn't? who did their job, who can be counted on, or I call it accountability, who can be trusted. And we probably won't see much change, but there could be, as you said, so when the pads get to popping and preseason live ammo gets to going, there might be some tweaking. I'll just say that, some tweaking to this depth chart.
Yeah, I agree with that. Some things that just kind of stand out is I'm not sure that Antonio Hamilton has run with the ones at all in camp, and he's listed as one.
Yep.
Typically throughout the training camp practices that we were able to watch, it's been Christian Matthew and Keitrell Park that are opposite of Marco Wilson. So, it may be a thing where coaches don't want to hand a young player or a rookie the job and they're neck to neck. So you put a guy with experience who started the number of games, you put him as the starter, but those other two might be ahead of him a little bit on the depth chart. And, up to this point, it's really about what trust have you earned with the coaching staff and your teammates. Because I look at interior defensive line, for example, to me at this point, all of those guys are interchangeable. Somebody needs to stand out and show that they can be a difference maker, or at least contribute. But you look at Rashard Lawrence, who, when healthy, is probably the most dynamic inside player on the roster. He's sitting at third on the depth chart, but he hasn't earned that trust with his coaching staff. He missed most of the offseason with injury and parts of training camp. So, you have to believe that he's going to have to take an opportunity to not only show what he can do, but show that he's reliable and dependable.
The other thing, too, Kyle, is the first thing I want to look for is to see where they had Isaiah Simmons, and they've got him as the nickelback, starter per se, and backup safety. So it sounds as though they've got him at a position, at least for now, which is more of a safety / slot corner, nickelback, whatever you want to call it. So you had a chance to watch him as far as cover skills are concerned, and very good tackler. He's an aggressive kid, but I guess I tell you what, you get him matched up with some of these little guys inside that can run, and it makes me a little nervous that he would be your starting nickelback in this defense.
Yeah, and look, he's been bounced around. He's been put in a number of positions. He said in his interview earlier this week, he was moved to different positions out of necessity because of injuries to the roster, and he did what the coaches thought was best for the team, but it wasn't necessarily best for him. And the interesting thing is they drafted him to be an inside linebacker. I don't think Isaiah Simmons is a dynamic player or a difference maker playing in a phone booth, which typically as an inside backer, that's what you are. You're responsible for a gap, a pretty small area. You drop to a zone, things like that. Because of his athletic ability, because of how long he is and how rangy and really instinctual, I think they're finding a right spot for him. You put him at the back end of the defense, let him diagnose, make sure his eyes are in the right place. And, we've seen it before in games where, once he recognizes something and pulls the trigger, he can close quickly and he can make some devastating hits once he gets there. So, while he's, in my opinion, nowhere near where Budda Baker is, he's that type of player where he has the ability to fix other people's mistakes. And if you put him in space, let him be that rangy sideline-to-sideline type player, he might just find his home.
Kyle Vanden Bosch is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Kyle, I'm real curious. You've been there. You've watched a little bit. Give me just your overall view of what you have seen so far. And is it what you hoped and expected at a training camp under a rookie new head coach?
Yeah, I mean, it is what I expected. It's an efficient practice. I think things are run well. I think players are bought in to not only the change in culture that this coaching staff is trying to bring, but really, the coaches are invested in the players. My example with Isaiah Simmons, they came to him and said, "Where do you see yourself? What would you like to play?" And he came out and said, "I don't want to play linebacker." And so while you don't always afford that luxury, when you have that give and take with the players as a coaching staff, you earn that trust. Players know that you have their best interest at heart, even though the team comes first. They do want you to succeed as an individual and as a player. And with that, you get buy-in from the players. And I think while it's hard to see buy-in on the practice field, you hear it in player interviews. You hear it when they speak about what they're doing and scheme and this coaching staff. So, it's difficult to say what we're going to see in preseason games. Sometimes what a team looks like in the preseason. I mean, if you remember season last year, the Cardinals were really efficient. I don't even know if they had any penalties in their first preseason game, which is almost unheard of in the preseason. And then they hit the regular season, and it's a completely different story. So it's difficult to get a lot from it. I think as a coaching staff who's trying to evaluate players, I think primarily you're trying to get players in one-on-one situations to see how they match up with other players, to see how they do, when they're asked to beat the man across from them. So, I think that's the big thing is with so many new players, with so many new coaches, this is just an extended evaluation process. So, and, the thing that I'm looking forward to with this new staff and with Coach Jonathan Gannon's philosophy and with so many new players, you get the feeling that, very few jobs are safe. No jobs are guaranteed, and that it truly is an open competition at almost every position. And whereas last year, you got the feeling that through training camp and through preseason that starting positions were grandfathered into veterans, and it didn't really matter what they did in training camp. It didn't matter how many times they practiced or if they ever took a snap in any preseason game. They were going to be starters come game one. You get the feeling that rookies, undrafted free agents that were signed from other teams, that every player is being given an equal opportunity. And when you get that healthy competition in the locker room, the whole team really, pushes each other, and you're able to make progress throughout training camp. It just felt like training camp last year was an unnecessary or just a necessary evil that the team had to go through just to get to the regular season, and it didn't feel like there was any development. It just felt like the starters were already named, and maybe there was some tough decisions at the back end of the roster with 5 or 6 players.
Yeah, and that was, I think, a lot of the players out there relayed that too, Kyle, that there's more urgency, there's more to this, there's more want to. When I first looked at this depth chart, I'm looking for the 4-3 front. The way they got it listed, it's a 34 look that they have here. And I'm just curious. They came into camp, a lot of 4-3 look. Zaven Collins, backside in, hand in the dirt. To have this listed as a 34 front, now I know this can change, but I wonder if they did that because Collins, not quite the individual, they look as a pure defensive end, and to get him standing up and be that strong side or Sam Backer. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, from everything I've heard, it doesn't seem like they're necessarily married to one front. It is surprising based on the success that both Jonathan Gannon and Nick Wallace had with the Eagles last year and the dominance that they had at their front four. But let's be honest, we don't have those players. Right. We don't have the same personnel that they had in Philly last year. So, you keep hearing Jonathan Gannon, Nick Wallace, Drew Petzing talk about maximizing the talent of the players they have. Well, I see the strength of this defense being, the safety position, obviously. I think they have with Kazir White and, the inside linebackers that they brought in. I think that their safeties and their linebackers will be the strength of this defense. And, typically, if you can find an edge rusher or two at the stand-up outside linebacker position, your guys up front, if they're not pass rushers, then you take on blocks and just a linebacker scrape and make plays. And I think that's kind of where they're evolving to is, just on paper, just based on past history, none of the guys they have lined up inside are difference makers or game changers. And so you use them, you eat up blocks, you let your linebackers scrape, you let your edge linebackers try to get after the quarterback, and that, that way you're maximizing what potential or the talent that you do have on your defense.
All right, about 45 seconds left in this segment. Have you had a chance to watch any of the QB that was drafted out of Houston, Clayton Tune? And if so, is he as good as advertised so far?
He really is. I think he's done really well coming in and executing in training camp practices. Throws a nice ball, has a big physical frame. He's athletic. He can, pull it down and get you yardage and convert, third downs if he needs to. It's always interesting with rookies. A lot of times this happens, particularly quarterbacks that come in, they look sharp. But the big question is, what's he going to look like when live bullets are flying, when he's got pass rushers that can actually hit him, and he's not wearing, whatever, the yellow jersey or red jersey, and he's not untouchable anymore. So, those are some things that we're going to figure out this preseason, and again, whereas most NFL teams, don't put a lot of stock in preseason games and preseason performance, you get the feeling that for this team, it really matters to most of the players in that locker room how they perform, and it may depend on not only their spot on the depth chart, but whether they make the team or not.
Always good, pal. When you take time with us, we always appreciate you. Thank you, bud. You have a good day.
Thanks, guys. Always my pleasure.
There you go. Kyle Vanden Bosch checking in with us, the latest out of the Cardinals training camp. Once again, Friday night, a date with the Denver Broncos. Kyle Vanden Bosch is driven by All City Towing, and they have a brand new fleet, and they are continuing to hire. If you are looking for a new gig, just go online right now and just go to allcitytowing.com and click on careers. That's allcitytowing.com. Click on careers. The pay is excellent. They have super benefits, including a 401k with a 50% match option. Best place to go? Just go online, allcitytowing.com, and click on careers. All right, when we come back, it's On This Day. Roc and Manuch with Fox Sports 910.
You're clear.
This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
The Anthony Davis $186 million extension. If I'm a great perimeter player, be on the move, or I want to be on the move, and I see Anthony Davis, I'm looking at the Lakers for that reason alone.
Okay,
this is a win for the Lakers.
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Today at 4, tell your smart speaker to play Fox Sports 910.
Hey, it's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11.
Okay.
Chevy to $59,925, and one lucky listener will win a 65-inch smart TV driven by your Valley Chevy dealers. Standard message and data rates apply. Details at rockandmanuch.com.
A homeowner just like you decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the backside of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Freshness made easy with Febreze Small Spaces.
Want continuous freshness that fights odors with no batteries and no outlets? Try Febreze Small Spaces. Ah, but what's a small space? To answer that, we brought in our lawyer.
Small spaces include, but are not limited to, bathrooms, closets, laundry room, kid room, pet corners, man cave, she sheds, most nooks, and all crannies.
There you go. Febreze Small Spaces is the world's most convenient. Febreze Small Spaces is super convenient and never stops freshening for 45 days.
Mm-hmm. Be happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back.
If you travel to the past, that past becomes your future, and your former present becomes the past.
A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture.
All right, everybody, we are back, and we're hanging out here, Barrio Queen Creek. It is Taco Tuesday, also El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well, and it is time for On This Day.
Well, Jimmy, on this day, 1974, your favorite president at one time, in the fallout from Watergate scandal, President Richard Nixon announces his resignation, effective the very next day, or he might have gone to jail. One of the two, as far as that's concerned. So go way back to 1974. You remember where you were that day when that happened, when that came down?
Yeah, working in Portland, Oregon.
When it all came down.
Yes.
Did that just blast the news? Did they eliminate sports for the day?
I don't think I did anything. Well, most of the time people will tell you I don't do anything, but I don't think I did anything that day.
That was interesting because that was right before, that was like, football season, my senior year in McClintock.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there and all of a sudden you're like, okay, you have practice, you get home, and all this brouhaha is going on because we're hunkered down.
Sure.
We're going 2 days there at McClintock and making sure that happens. So that was one of those days I remember, football and Richard Nixon leaving the next day as far as resignating and him getting on that helicopter,
waving goodbye
with the two peace signs. Are they not victory or peace?
I'm not a crook.
Yeah.
I'm not a crook.
Exactly right. Hey, 1988, the lights were turned on at Wrigley Field for the very first time, making it the last Major League Stadium to have only day games.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell took them so long?
But they stood on that forever.
That was like their pride and joy. We're the last.
That's it.
We're the last of the Mohicans
forever
with day baseball. This was sad. 2014, race car driver Tony Stewart had fellow driver Kevin Ward Jr. with his vehicle on a sprint car track. Ward was walking on the track and did not survive the incident. Ward had wiped out, got out of his car, and as Tony Stewart was coming around the track in his sprint car, didn't see him.
Right.
Came upon him, and he just never saw him. That was the verdict and everything, and he just didn't see him. It was kind of at nighttime, the bad lighting with a lot of those dirt tracks, and he hit him. Very, very unfortunate incident.
It was awful.
2017, this is where it all started. The Walt Disney Company announced plans to create its own streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
Took it a couple years to troubleshoot it. Now they're looking to show football games on it. You name it. So
how does that sit with you that the Disney Company is now, what does that tell you? How now Disney, the home of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, are going to get into the sports business?
Well, they've been involved. They bought ESPN.
Yeah.
They got involved several years ago and they took over ESPN. So they saw the magnet, the business opportunity that they were having. They saw streaming. I always thought the Disney Corp or Walt Disney Company has been so very forward thinking to expand, to go Disney World, Disneyland, to go overseas and to have those.
Right.
And to be this multi-billion-dollar company. It said, you know what? Why don't we go buy ESPN? Why don't we go expand our horizons? Now, they're also very corporate, so you can see a lot of the cuts that they're having ESPN go through.
They have made it.
On top of that. So I've always felt that Disney is always very forward thinking, and their customer service, their marketing is absolutely second to none. So I've always felt that they've been ahead of that curve from what the basic principles and the process they have.
It's just interesting to me that now on their streaming channel, which is Disney movies and cartoons, now all of a sudden you're going to go on and get a football game.
You're going to get sports and what have you. Going back to 2021, just a couple years ago, the USA women's basketball team won its 7th consecutive Olympic gold with a 90-75 win over Japan in Tokyo. They were crushing.
They crushed everybody.
All the competition. Just so you wanted to know, I have to let my lovely bride know this. Give Maddie, our cat, an extra treat or something. International Cat Day today. For all you cat lovers that are out there, we have Maddie, our cat. It is CBD Day. And I took my CBD oil this morning. I take it every night.
I take it at night.
Got the salve on my neck, my back,
You're a mess.
my shoulder.
You're a mess.
Oh, my gosh. Thank God for CBD. Let me just say that. It's also Frozen Custard Day.
Okay, I'm good with that. Now, do you put frozen custard on your back, on your leg?
No.
Okay.
No. But I will put some chocolate syrup. I'll put some all kinds of toppings. I'll do the Oreo cookies in a strawberries. Put that in there. Oh yeah, I'll doctor that.
Okay.
And it's National Zucchini Day. Love fried zucchini with ranch. Absolutely the best. That is on this day, August 8th, for some many years ago.
If it starts with a Z, I'm not eating it.
Oh, fried zucchini is the best.
What?
It is absolutely the best. You got to try it, Jimmy. Dip it in a little ranch.
Yeah.
It is the best stuff.
Does the ranch take the taste out of it?
No. Matter of fact, a lot of you folks remember the old Lunt Avenue Marble Club that was over there on College and Apache Boulevard. Was great for many years. That's where I got exposed to the fried zucchini. Awesome, great place to eat dinner and lunch, what have you. That's where I have it. So, but zucchini. I love it fried. I can tolerate it cooked or steamed. But I'm a zucchini fan. I'm a zucchini, broccoli, asparagus. The only green that I will not touch is cooked spinach.
I'm not doing spinach.
Yeah,
either.
I don't mind it in a dip.
Yeah,
like at Houston's or at Hillstone. Put it in the dip there with some cheese. I'm good to go.
My parents tried to bribe me all the time. Look at Popeye. Popeye eats spinach. Look how strong he is. I'm not eating it. It tastes terrible.
I will say this. I'll never forget. I'm like 5 or 6. We got these little dinner tables when you're kids.
Oh, yeah.
I could not leave. Yeah. Could not leave unless I ate my spinach.
Oh, man. No way.
Sat there, I bet, till at least 8 o'clock at night. My mom came in and goes, Butch, okay, let's go. Let's go to bed. I'm not eating that. I'm not touching it.
No.
Stubborn Italian in me.
Oh, man. I just can't do
can't do
spinach.
Don't want spinach.
Ooh.
Won't touch it.
Yeah.
There you go,
I'm
Jimmy.
with you. All right, so that is on this day. Hey, we've got a great second hour lined up for you. And included in that second hour, you're going to like this a lot because we're going to dive in to the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. And Manuch, once again, has outkicked the coverage. And the reason is because Jerry Hairston Jr., who works their color commentating on TV and radio, will be honest, and we'll get the lowdown on what is going on with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they have caught fire in a bottle. They just pummeled the Padres in that series in San Diego. So we are broadcasting live today here in Queen Creek at the Barrio Queen. It is Taco Tuesday. Come on out and enjoy. It is also El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
You're clear.
Make the right choice, Right Toyota in North Scottsdale. There are so many dealers to choose from, but there's only one that truly cares about the people here in Arizona. Right Toyota is family owned. They are not some huge corporation led by a bunch of bean counters that are all just concerned with the bottom line. The family at Right Toyota invests in the community and local charities. Proceeds from every car sold goes directly back to the people in need. Right Toyota is even dog friendly. If you just want to shop from home, log on to righttoyota.com for their full inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles. That's right, the right place, the right selection, the right people. Right Toyota on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at righttoyota.com.
Well, you won't go wrong.
I wouldn't have gone wrong.
At Wright Toyota, well, you won't go wrong.
I wouldn't have gone wrong.
At Wright Toyota, well, you won't go wrong.
I wouldn't have gone wrong.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on around the NFL. Win bragging rights in this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Every business seeks an advantage, whether it's having the best location, hiring top talent, or spotting trends before they happen. And now, the United States Postal Service can give your business a new advantage. Introducing USPS Ground Advantage. Reliable and affordable 2 to 5 day package shipping. It's the advantage you need at the price you want. Get the Ground Advantage at USPS.com/advantage. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
Packing for your summer road trip?
Leave the travel guide at home and bring the Autio app along for the ride. Autio brings any drive to life with fascinating stories about the places you go, all narrated by expert storytellers. Browse through Autio's more than 10,000 fascinating location-based tales to inspire your travel itinerary and discover unique destinations along the way. Wherever summer takes you, make your next drive an adventure with Autio, the perfect companion for your next road trip. Learn more at autio.com.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. Oh, thank you. What does it say? Beware. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Tomorrow from 10 to 1. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Coyotes announced single-game tickets will go on sale August 11th. Their home opener is October 21st when they meet the Ducks. Mercury star Diana Taurasi named the WNBA's Western Conference Player of the Week. She became the first in league history to amass 10,000 career points. It's Brandon Fott on the hill for the Diamondbacks as they play the two-game set, the 6-game losing streak. Now the Cardinals have released their depth chart ahead of Friday's preseason game with the Broncos. Top pick Paris Johnson will be at right tackle, while quarterback Colt McCoy is listed as the team starter for the game. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Tuesday, look for mostly sunny conditions, also fairly breezy out there throughout the rest of the afternoon. Temperatures topping out close to 108 with a slight chance of seeing some storms develop for tonight, with those temperatures dipping down into the upper 80s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
Report is sponsored by New Vision Auto Glass.
Tired of looking through a windshield with a crack or chip in it?
Get it replaced with New Vision Auto Glass. Qualifying customers can get up to $250
I saw it there.
and a free dinner at Rodizio Grill.
NewVisionAutoglass.com.
480-210-9090. Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
Well, there's a little Major League Baseball game that's going to take place this evening downtown at Chase Field. We're going to dive into that. Welcome, everybody. Second hour, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910, also 99.9 FM HD2, and on the iHeartRadio app. It is Taco Tuesday. That's why we're broadcasting live, better than the alternative, here at the Barrio Queen in Queen Creek, and it is El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. Manuch, I would love to say this. Wow, this is a great matchup tonight, and these two-game series with the top team in the National League West means a lot to both teams. But I cannot say that.
Well, the D-backs better get on the Bigfoot.
Yes.
They better get after it and get their groove on, because you got a team, and the Dodgers have won 7 out of the last 10. They just blew the doors off of the San Diego Padres. They put a 12 spot on the Padres last night. They come into town for a 2-game set. Then you got the Padres coming in for a 3-game set. So basically, you got a 5-game homestand. Mm-hmm. And if you're this Diamondbacks team, you've got to win at least, I'm going to say, 3 out of the 5. 4 out of the 5. At least 3 out of the 5.
Yeah.
To get yourself back in the hunt. Not that they're out of it. They really aren't. They're only 2 games out of the wild card. But, folks, they have lost 22 out of the last 29 games. They were 16 games in front of 500.
Right, above 500.
Now they're 1. So you look at that and you go, you lost the last 6 games. In those last 6 games, you were outscored 29-11. Basically, the opponent scoring 5 runs, you're averaging close to 2, if that's it in those last 6 games. Mm-hmm. So they got to find the bats. The starting rotation, I think, has been good. It's been decent. But tonight, Dodgers in town. They're hot. I think the over-under is 9.5 right now.
Woo!
And you got Urias taking the mound for the Dodgers. He's not having a great year.
Yeah, I thought Julio Urias would be better this season.
He's 8-6, 4.69 ERA.
Yeah.
And then, but you got Fott, who's at 0-5, 7.11 ERA. Even though he had a good outing the last time he was out.
Yeah.
But never got any run support. So for this Diamondbacks team, the up, the down, 9 games back now. When you were 3 games at 2.5 or 3 games up at the turn. It's either you're not getting the pitching or you're not getting the hitting. And the last debacle that they had against the Twins to steal 8 bases and leave, I think they left on base 12. They were 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position.
You can't do that,
Jimmy.
Do that.
I mean, hell, you get 16 runners on. Yeah. You'd think you would just sneeze and score at least 2 runs.
I would think so.
And if not for the long ball by Christian Walker to tie things, to take the lead. And then for your closer, you made a trade for, and Sewald to come up, and his first pitch, give up a dinger, tie it up, and you walk the next batter. And then you get to hometown boy, the rookie comes in, and next pitch,
bang,
gone.
Yep.
And there's your loss, 5-3. Has to leave a very sour and bitter taste I hope, very sour and bitter taste in this Diamondbacks ball club.
Let me drop this on you then. What do you think? What is this, Tuesday? So Tuesday night crowd. Will the place be packed with Dodger fans?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, a lot of the kids have gone back to school.
Right, yeah.
Football's going on.
That changes
Fall
things.
sports are going on. But I would think that it's a 6:40 first pitch. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Dodger fans there. Because, you look at this LA Dodger team, I mean, they've really, from the standpoint of coming alive and making things happen, have done just an absolutely phenomenal job of doing all that to get in the position where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the Giants, and they're basically, 4 games out? As I look to pull up the standings, that they're 4 games out. The Diamondbacks are fading like tissue paper in a rainstorm. They're 9 back. But, I mean, they've won 7 out of the last 10 games, that being the Dodgers. And here's the differential, which is really amazing. You talk about hitting. The Dodgers differential, runs scored versus runs allowed.
Okay.
Plus 119. Plus 119. Folks, that's a whole hell of a lot.
That is.
Now, here's the Diamondbacks. Okay. The Diamondbacks, as far as runs scored versus runs allowed, minus 18.
Oh, boy.
Look at that differential. And I will say this, the Padres are plus 29. So the Dodgers are clearly scoring a lot of runs with the support if their pitching falters. They're getting the hitting to make up for that pitching. But the other thing, too, the 7 out of the 10 victories for this Dodgers team, their bullpen has been stout. And their starting rotation has been stout in reference to allowing this team and their hitting. I mean, heck, you think of Mookie Betts, he hits a grand slam to get him in the game yesterday.
Yeah.
They're down 6-zip. They tie it up, and then they get 8 runs the next inning.
Padre fans were going crazy when they were up 6-0.
They are. So to answer your question, I think it'll be a very good LA Dodger crowd, and I hope that D-back fans get out there to support this team and give them a little boost, give them a little lift.
Fair enough. The Cardinals continuing their workouts. They've got a date with the first preseason game of the season with the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton, the new head coach in Denver, has already come out and said Russell Wilson's going to get some time on the field. Look, they don't game plan. They don't scheme for anything. It's all vanilla is the way that most coaches will describe it. What do you expect to see?
You listen to Sean Payton talk nowadays.
Yes.
There is definitely, for you Bronco fans, a new sheriff in town.
There is.
Excuse me. He's laying down the law. He's letting these guys know you're going to play. And he basically said, we got football players going to be on the field. All of our football players are going to be on the field. And I think somebody asked him, is Russell Wilson going to play? He goes, he's a football player, is he not? I mean, so he's got a little bit of that I would call red ass about him right now.
Sure, yeah.
But that's that Bill Parcells mentality that he came from. Mm-hmm. He came from the Bill Parcells tree of assistant coaches that went way back with the Giants. And then when he took over for the Saints, that he's got that kind of in his system that we're turning things around after that debacle that was the Denver Broncos. And they've been somewhat of a debacle the last several years. So the Walmart family, or the Walton family, I should say, has entrusted him to go get it done. So he's going to play his guys, to your point, Jimmy, for maybe a couple, 2-3 series.
Okay.
As is Jonathan Gannon is going to play his guys for maybe 2 or 3 series. Look, there's no messing around. These are both very bad football teams last year. So their jobs as head coaches is to get these guys and let them know, look, we're not messing around. You're going to come out. It's preseason.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first game. You're going to play.
Yeah.
No more Camp Cupcake. No more country club like it was under the Cliff Kingsbury era.
Sure.
I mean, there's none of that's going to happen. If you want to be a winning football team that eventually vies for championships, you got to go put the work and effort into it.
Okay.
So to your point, I think they're going to see 2 to 3 series of the starters on Friday night.
This story, and we talked a little bit about it because it happened yesterday, but I wanted to revisit because it does involve Arizona State and linebacker Juwan Mitchell. He got dismissed from the team. And Coach Kenny Dillingham made the announcement yesterday. He was expected to be a starter for the Sun Devils on defense and was expected to be a solid player for them defensively because he was transferring from Tennessee.
I think a lot of Devil fans are excited. This kid, as you mentioned, the transfer from Tennessee starts there. What's it? This was like the third
to
Texas to Tennessee,
yep.
to ASU.
Yep.
So obviously, Juwan Mitchell thinks he's all that in a bag of chips. But if you're not going to buy in to the mantra, you're not going to buy into the the team philosophy and concept. So obviously, they were saying that he was warned. And second time is, you're gone.
I think they warned him 2 times.
They may have. And 3 is always a charm.
Yes, that is.
And that was maybe I think one of his issues. I saw a report. He had a little bit of this attitude at Tennessee. Feared he'd move on. Thought he could get away with it at ASU. No way. I commend Kenny Dillingham for holding the course, for holding it solid to say this is how we do it. We don't care who you are, whether you're an all-star or whomever, you're third string. These are the rules. You have to abide by the rules. And if you don't, you're gone. Matter of fact, there was another player that was released as well, too, I read last night. So I love it. This is how we're going to do it, and we're going to do it clean, and you're going to be a fine citizen about it. You're going to go to class, and you're going to be a good football player, and we're going to do it my way or the highway. And obviously they gave this kid a road apple, a Mars bar, and said, good luck and good bowling. In a brown paper sack with a bologna sandwich.
Good bowling. That's great.
Good luck and good bowling.
That's it. Okay, so now we know what has taken place with college football realignment. And that has been a major topic that has lasted for over a week and a half now. Things are finally starting to settle down at least a little bit. But today we found out that San Diego State was efforting to try to put a deal together, and that Stanford and Cal were trying to make inroads in the ACC on the East Coast, Manuch.
Yeah, and so far the ACC, they did meet yet last night. They've tabled it for right now.
Yep.
And I think for them it's kind of a wait and see. Not that they don't want to bring them on board. It's just they want to think of the logistics for the other programs, the Olympic sports, the non-rev sports.
Sure.
So I think they're taking a good hard look at that because it's just so odd to think of the left coast coming to the right coast and playing together. So that one has been tabled for right now. But to your point, Jimmy, in reference to San Diego State, they were trying to broker a deal to blend the Mountain West versus the remaining Pac-4.
Right.
That has fallen apart for now. And the reason why I say for now, folks, is because I think that there's a lot on the table still. And I think there's a lot of minutia that these teams, Oregon State, Washington State, Cal, and Stanford have to deal with. And I don't think Stanford is just going to jump at anything. But Washington State, John Schultz, who's the president, former K-State Wildcat president.
Why did I be
should have stayed at K-State.
Brother.
He's wondering, what the hell am I doing? He's looking for a place. But they know at Washington State and Oregon State that they're in deep water. And unless somebody throws them a
lifeline,
a life ring to get them out of the deep end and rescue them, this year they're going to have to scramble to see what they can do. Mm-hmm. So whether the Big 10, Big 12, SEC, and ACC have put things on hold for now, I'd be a little nervous if I'm the Pac-4.
If you're those schools, and I'll just play devil's advocate here real quick, and that is, do you consider the AAC And then later, do you consider the Mountain West?
If
there's nothing else there.
Well, you know what? God forbid Stanford and Cal have to lower their standards.
Oh, boy.
Because they feel that they're all that.
Yeah.
If they'd snub their nose at something like that. To your point, Jimmy B., they might not have a choice. Or they go plead the fifth to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I think the Big Ten would be the natural for them. Not that the Big 12 wouldn't look at them. But I think, again, all cards are on the table. It's going to be a long process before those four end up anywhere of merit, per se.
I'm with you. All right, everybody. Coming up, it's our El Bandito Yankee Tequila Pick'em Contest. An opportunity $25 gift card if you can beat the El Bandito Yankee Tequila owner and former K-State Wildcat and Green Bay Packer Jim Bob Morris. We have 3 picks that we will do in our next segment. Fifth caller, 602-260-9191. It's coming up next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
We're your neighbors.
You're clear.
You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time?
Okay, so you want me to just say...
So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Have you been arrested for something you didn't do? When your liberty is on the line, you need an aggressive, experienced attorney to defend your rights. Lerner Law Group is the firm you can trust with your freedom. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state. And with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. Call Lerner & Rowe today for a free consultation. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Get ready for some football with a new big screen TV from your Valley Chevy dealers. Text Chevy to 59925 and one lucky listener will win a 65-inch smart TV driven by your Valley Chevy dealers. Standard message and data rates apply. Details at rockandmanuch.com.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Wayne Decker is the owner of PlumSmart, and he's also a friend of mine. Hey, it's Jody Ayler, and when you can build a company that's as good as PlumSmart and save me money and be a great guy, you'll be a friend of mine too. PlumSmart does something that very few companies do. They want you to get the best deal out there. If that means going to their competition, so be it. It doesn't happen very often because PlumSmart is about half the price of the other guys. Dial pound 250 and say keyword PlumSmart. That's pound 250, keyword PlumSmart, or it's just plumsmart.com because plumbers and AC guys charge too much.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either a Dave's single, spicy chicken sandwich, medium frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's single and a frosty for me.
and a frosty. Okay, who said frosty and a frosty?
Yeah, I got him.
Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with a combo or any other offer.
Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley Barrio Queen locations. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
All right, everybody, we're hanging out. Queen Creek, Barrio Queen is where you can find us. It is El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday.
Tequila!
All right, and we are ready.
Más mucho, por favor, señor.
The El Bandito Yankee Tequila owner, Jim Pop Morris, he joins us Tuesday.
How are you, boys? You guys seem to be having a lot more fun
than Jim Bob, who's getting ready for pre-op.
Oh, man.
Okay, so one knee, both of them, hips. What do we have done
here? Yeah.
We're talking about one knee, the right knee, which I initially injured the first time I sacked Jimmy Kelly on a safety blitz, and then his center peeled around to block me, and that's back in the USFL days.
Yeah.
And we were playing at the old Astrodome, which sucked. It was terrible.
Yep.
And my knee popped and dislocated. But I did sack Jimmy, and it's a great on-film play. However, my year was over.
You know, Jim, I got to tell you what. That was 84, 85 when you did that.
I think that was 85. And here's the deal. The knee surgeries back then were a little antiquated. I mean, you know, you were in a cast for this is how old I am, listeners, because I was in a cast for 8 months. Today, they put in a whole new knee, and they make you walk out of the hospital.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, well, I've had a couple. One person did both knees at one time.
Ooh.
Highly recommended. Don't ever do that. So when you get that new knee, matter of fact, I think with those bow legs you got, you might, when you get both these in, you might be 6'4" instead of 6'1" when you get them things straightened out, right?
6'4". I'm pushing for 6'4", and maybe I'll get a little skinnier. Maybe I'll look a little slimmer too. You know, vertical stripes make you look slimmer.
You're right about that. All right, we got lots of questions for you and everything. So let's do our picks first, and then we'll get into the other stuff that we want to talk to you about. Jim Bob Morris is our guest, everybody, as we get ready here to do our picks. He's playing against Danny from Phoenix. Here we go. First one, all baseball, Padres at the Mariners. Over under, Jim Bob, 8.5.
I'm going to go with the over.
All right, Zandra, what did Danny give you for that?
Danny also went with the over on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those games that
a lot of runs.
Mariners are hot, except they lost 2 in a row. Padres have got to get hot. So, game number 2 there, Jim Bob Morrissey, fine Kansas State alumnus.
Oh, boy.
That's for sure. Giants at the Angels. The over-under currently is at 9. Which way are you going?
You know, that's a tough one, but I'm going to go over again.
Okay, all right. And Xander, which way did Danny go?
He decided to go with the under on that one.
Okay, so there's that differential.
All right, fair enough.
There we go.
Yep, last one, Jim Bob. The Dodgers in town beginning a 2-game series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Over-under is 9. Where are you?
I'm going the under.
All right, let's check in with Sandra, see what Danny did.
Danny also did the under on that one.
All right. You know what's interesting about that, Jim Bob, is that Urias, who's pitching, struggling this year, 4.69 ERA, and then fought for the Diamondback 0 for 5, 7.11 ERA. I was thinking you go over. I figured first 1 to 15 would win this game.
It could be a football game. You know, there's a lot of disruption going on out west out there. I mean, speaking of, what's going on out there with your Pac-12?
Well, the Pac-12 wised up, Jim Bob. They wised up, at least 4 of them wised, and they're coming to the Big 8/Big 12 now /Big 16. So ASU, U of A, Colorado, and Utah. They're all coming. They've wised up to go get some real football competition. They saw the light of the media package to the tune of about $35 million. That was the reason for the move, Jim Bob.
What was the Pac-12 paying those teams?
They were the new deal was only streaming on Apple, and it was around $20 million.
Well, a new deal. They didn't have a deal.
Yeah,
potential deal. There's no deal in place as of right now.
Yeah. So it could be very well that those 4 remaining teams with Cal, Stanford, Oregon State, Washington State, they can lead too.
Yes, they can.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they can. Matter of fact, the San Diego State was trying to broker a deal as of last night and this morning of absorbing those 4 into the Mountain West. Even looking at themselves going to the Pac-4, make it the Pac-5. That blew up. So stay tuned because I think there's a lot more movement to be had, Jim Bob. But I will say this, the Big 12 shining. It'll be nice for folks to see the Fighting Kansas State Wildcats come into Sun Devil Stadium, Frank Coach Field.
It's funny. It's funny, Manuch, is that literally 3 years ago when we were having disruption, there was talk about the Big 12 and where everybody was going to go. Oklahoma was leaving, Texas was leaving, everybody looked, and they were thinking, where was Kansas State going to go? Now here we are, sitting top of a power conference, top in basketball, top in football. Those K-State Wildcats prevail, buddy.
That's exactly right. EMAW. Every
boy.
man a wild.
All right, I'm changing the topic. I'm changing. Go ahead. I'm about to change the topic. Go ahead.
Jimmy's an Eastern Washington alumnus. They've never won anything.
Jimmy B, isn't it hard to have to listen to this every week?
I'm telling you, Jim Bob, he gives me that EMAU thing constantly.
EMAW.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
No, I don't care. I don't care. All right.
But
yeah, go ahead.
But so we've been busier than heck. I mean, we had the Jelly Roll concert. We're getting ready to launch our Anejo, in September, and so we're going to be putting together a big package for you guys. We'll be blasting it. We're going to have a huge party. I'm going to hopefully. I'm assuming I'll be recovered by the time Jelly rolls into town September 16th. But I'm coming out for the launch. I'm coming out for Jelly, and we are going to party with El Bandito Yankee, my friends. So you guys got all those 45 days or whatever. But you got some time to get ready.
I can't wait. It's going to be at the Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. It's going to be a great time, and it is Saturday, September 16th, right?
Yes. So we're going to give some VIP tickets away, and you're going to have an opportunity to go out and meet Jelly, shake his hand. He can sit on you or sign your face or whatever. Okay.
Jim Bob, he seems like just a very genuine, nice guy.
He is so nice, and he's so authentic, and that's our whole message. I mean, El Bandito Yankee is the most authentic tequila. We've got all kinds of records and everything in regards to gold. We've got gold medals, we've got platinum medals, but we hooked up with Jelly because he's authentic, and so we love the association, but we'd love for everybody to come out and support Jelly Roll on his tour and have some El Bandito Yankee with us for sure.
You got that right. Now, when you have this knee surgery, you should be up and around within a week or two, right?
Brand new knee.
I don't know. What do you think, Manuch? How long does it take for you actually? I'm only having one done, so
yeah.
I mean, how long is that going to take for recovery?
You're probably looking at a good full recovery. You've been the outstanding Kansas State athlete that you were. Probably a good 6 months by the time you're doing those stadium steps over there at the stadium and doing your 16 110s and 50 40s. Give it 6 months or so.
You think 6 months? Okay. What about just walking out to my car?
He just wants to get to his car and not have to crawl.
Well, you can move. You get your little cart.
Yeah.
You get your little, what do you call those little carts that you have on that you use one leg and you put your knee up?
Yeah. I have a walker. It's funny because when I got COVID basically hit me in the head. It hit me in my vestibular nerve, and so I had vertigo for like 3 months, and so I really had to learn how to walk again. So I have a walker, and I'm embarrassed to use it, but I'm going to use it.
Yeah, you got to use it. You will have to use it. Trust me. But you watch how fast you start to come around. You really will, just because of modern medicine today.
And you can send the bill to Jim Kelly's center for cutting you like that.
Yeah, I will. Or his center. I tell you what. But this will mark my 20th surgery for everybody out there.
Oh my God.
When you play the game and you're not very good, apparently you just can't get out of the way of anybody.
Well, Jim Bob, that turf we had, or was it a street we played on back in the day?
You're not kidding.
I mean, back in the 80s, I feel sorry for the guys when AstroTurf first got invented. I mean, I don't know how many knee surgeries and concussions we had back then, but, there were plenty of them. And we were talking to somebody today about, what were some of the toughest injuries? I go, some of the toughest injuries that we had physically certainly were knees, but I think the big deal was, I think today we're just realizing how bad CTE really was. There's so many guys I know that are now in their 50s and 60s, and we're starting to see that early dementia set in and those CTE impacts and so forth. I think that's the most serious elements that we saw from playing on those turfs back in the day.
I'm with you on that 100%. Look, I did a lot of games out of that Astrodome. I walked on that turf. It was just like you were walking on concrete. It just had a green cover on it. That was the difference.
That's it, man. That and Philly Stadium.
Yes.
I mean, those were probably the two worst turfs I think in the country at the time. And so, but anyhow, I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna be looking forward to coming out and spending some time in beautiful Phoenix, Scottsdale with you guys in about 4 weeks, man. We're gonna have a great time.
We will look forward to it. Best of luck on your recovery, Jim Bob, and we will touch base with you next week.
Guys, you have a great El Bandito Yankee Day, and you make sure you stir things up at Barrio. And, hey, does Danny know what my record is? I mean, honestly, does he know what my record is out there? I'm like, I think I won again last week, didn't I?
You did. I think it's a whole lot of wins to a few losses. So, hey, don't hurt your shoulder patting yourself on the back, would you?
Well, hey, that's the next surgery. I'll see you guys. Have a safe time.
All right, see you. There you go. Jim Bob Morris, that was awesome. Coming up, Dodgers in first place in the National League West. They are in town, beginning a 2-game series with the Snakes tonight at Chase Field. Former Major Leaguer, Dodgers broadcaster Jerry Harrison Jr. is our guest, and he is next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Behold. Here's what's trending. Sports 910, Phoenix.
Cardinals' depth chart is out for Friday's preseason game against the Broncos. Top pick Paris Johnson is at right tackle, while quarterback Colt McCoy is listed as the team starter. The Coyotes announced single-game tickets will go on sale the 11th of August. Their home opener is October 21st against the Ducks. The Mercury's Diana Taurasi named the WNBA's Western Conference Player of the Week. She became the first in league history to amass 10,000 career points. Brandon Pfaadt takes the hill for the D-backs in the opener of their quick 2-game set with the Dodgers. The Snakes trying to break a 6-game losing streak. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, #SexyRoofStatus. At State 48 Roofing, we are family-owned and operated, born and raised in Arizona. We'd love to give back to our schools and community. Contact us at state48roofing.com.
For RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on RightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at RightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
Time to get in on real estate investments. GC Global Capital has financing with no income verification. Call 480-397-9300. GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage broker in MLS 1091187. License MB092493. An equal opportunity employer.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito.
Hey, Manuch.
Tequila of game day.
Wireless headphones.
I don't have them yet. I don't know if you want to text them or something.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instinct.
Yeah.
Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I'm Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. When it comes to your personal injury case, I'm straight to the point. I'll answer your call. No BS.
Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. Call 1-800-ANTI-LAWYER.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. When dining out or shopping at the grocery store, ask for sustainable seafood. By choosing sustainable seafood, you can help reduce overfishing, bycatch, loss of top predators, illegal fishing, and other harmful environmental impacts. Brought to you by iHeartRadio and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
The average break-in lasts 8 to 10 minutes, so fast response is crucial.
That's why SimpliSafe launched its breakthrough technology 24/7 live guard protection to help stop crime in real time.
SimpliSafe monitoring agents can actually see, speak to, and deter intruders.
Right now, get 20% off any SimpliSafe system when you sign up for a free month trial of Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/Armstrong.
That's simplisafe.com/Armstrong. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
The boundlessly capable all-electric EQS SUV from available trans technology. So advanced through sheet metal. Vehicles all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Learn more at nbusa.com/EQS-SUV.
Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley Barrio Queen locations. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Nowhere to put them. That swings away 3-0. Driven deep left field. Gone! Betts with number 31. It's a grand slam. They are going to play defense with the lead. Down 5-0. Only one out here in the top of the 4th and 8 runs across.
Mookie, you're so fine. You're so fine. Hey, Mookie. At any rate, thank you to Major League Baseball for that highlight clip and Sportsnet Los Angeles, which brings us then to Jerry Harrison Jr. of Spectrum Sportsnet LA. And we have him on the show right now as he's getting ready for the 2-game series between the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers downtown at Chase Field. Jerry, Jimmy B, and Manuch, how are you, pal?
How we doing, Jerry?
Hey, Jerry, you got us.
You guys got me?
Yep, we got you now. Yep, you're there.
All right, good. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, pal. So we just played the Grand Slam by Mookie Betts yesterday. Man, this team, meaning the Dodgers, is just on an incredible hitting tear. How does that happen? But you're a former player. Did you just get in a zone where the baseball looked like a beach ball when it was coming to you when you were at the plate?
Well, I'm a career 260 hitter, so I didn't get in those zones very often. My zone would be like 3 days. I'm like, why can't I do this all the time? But the way Mookie Betts is swinging the bat, the way Freddie Freeman is swinging the bat, they have been on some type of tear. They have led this offense, which has really been on a tear the last couple months. And we have those two guys leading the charge, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. That 1-2 punch at the top of the order, that really sets the tone for the entire offense. And really kind of allows those guys to kind of settle in and just do their thing. They know they don't have to do too much because you have two studs at the top doing their thing. So as a Dodger fan, it has been fun to watch. They've really, in my opinion, have exceeded expectations. I know it's the Dodgers. I get their big market team, but they lost a lot of thump in that lineup from last year's team. Losing Trey Turner, losing Justin Turner as well. J.D. Martinez has really filled in the designated hitter role. He's been incredible in the middle of the lineup. And, you know, our young guy, James Outman in center field, he has been outstanding. Leads, since the All-Star break, leads baseball in OPS. That's what kind of tear he's been on as well. So it's certainly a balanced attack as well.
You know, Jerry, it's interesting. You look at you guys win 7 out of the last 10, and I'm one of those, stat guys. I look at it. So I incorporate my Kansas State math periodically. And I look at those 7-game victories. You guys scored 59 runs in 7 games. You're looking at about 8.5 per. But you guys, I think on average, out of the 8.5 per, you're only giving up like 3 on the defensive side. So where have you seen a stretch the last several years where you've seen a team score dang near 8 runs or more and only give up like 2.5 to 3 per game in a stretch like that?
Well, the offense, certainly the last couple months, it's been there. They've been outstanding. Our pitching, if you look at what our pitching was in July, look at those numbers, especially from the starting pitching department. They were historically bad for the Dodgers. But they've made adjustments.
They've gotten healthy. Julio Reyes is back in the mix. Tony Gonsolin's back in the mix. And they're starting to pitch like they did last year. And when you have those two guys being solid in the rotation, and hopefully get Clayton Kershaw back. We just added Lance Lynn at the deadline. Joe Kelly's back in the mix in the bullpen. Those guys definitely provide veteran leadership, but also can eat up quality innings. And you need that, especially down the stretch. And we all know this. If you're going to win a World Series, at least get to the postseason and make a run, you have to have really good pitching, and you got to have timely hitting. And hopefully the Dodgers have found their footing, and they can really go on this tear, not just for this month, but the rest of the season.
You know, it's interesting, Jerry, you watched that game last night, and it looks, Goslin struggled a little bit, goes 6 innings, gives up 6 runs, but they leave him in there, and you just kind of alluded to it. You come in there in that 6th inning, or the 4th inning, excuse me, and you trump the 8-5, make it an 8-5 lead, but you leave him in there. That's a lot of confidence to leave a guy that's given up 5 runs and who's struggling a little bit, knowing your offense is going to pick him up.
It is, but you know what? He had that one bad inning. He surrendered 5 runs in that one inning, and then before that, he was pitching well. And then right after that, you got to run him back out there. You know, you can't put your bullpen behind the 8 ball. You can't continue to run out guys. You need your starters to provide length. And I love what manager Dave Roberts did. He goes, "Hey man, we were just down 5-0 a second ago. Now we just given you the lead, 8-5. So go out there, pitch well, pitch with confidence." He was able to do that and give us length. And now heading into the Arizona series, our bullpen is well rested and ready to go. So it's good to see Tony, take the ball and have effective innings after that 5-run outburst.
You know, it's a great piece of video. I watched it several times of Freddie Freeman hitting that home run from the helmet cam, and you see the pitch coming in, and then you see him make the contact, the main portion of the barrel of the bat, and that ball just takes off like a rocket. How good is he?
He's one of the best players I've ever seen. And when I say players, he plays defense, runs the bases. He's got a career high in stolen bases. He's been outstanding and one of the best leaders I've ever seen. When we're talking bat-to-ball skills, he's as good as anybody. And he had that 10-pitch at-bat against Rich Hill. And Rich Hill, a friend of mine, I've known him for many years. He battled, and then finally on that 10th pitch, had to give in, and Freddie Freeman had a barrel for him, hit a 3-run bomb. But that's what big leaguers do, and really, that's what Hall of Famers do. Mm-hmm. They get something they can handle, and they're able to not only put it in play hard, but able to drive it out of the ballpark.
Was that from the umpire helmet cam? I mean, I watched that several times as well, Joe. I thought it was great. Was that the umpire's helmet cam?
It was the umpire's helmet hand. I was able to, Manuch, able to put a camera on the umpire without him knowing it early in the day. That way, the fans can get the best look and get the big league experience. So, hitting ain't easy, is it?
No,
man. From the helmet cam, you see Freddie Freeman right there staying square and being able to drive that breaking ball over the wall. That was a really good angle.
The way you broke it down, he drove the barrel, the bottom of the bat at the classic swing, right, Jerry? I mean, you just blow it, and then he gets through the ball, full extension, full swing. That ball might still be traveling, but I thought the way you broke it down and in slow motion, how it kind of, the bottom of the bat and then get through it. Classic teaching for these young guys that are hitters.
It is, and that's what usually we were taught as big leaguers. You want to go take your hands or the knob, whatever you're comfortable with, take it to the ball, and that bat head will follow. You trust it. That allows you to stay square and stay on the baseball. Now, I try to do that all the time as a hitter. Easier said than done. Yeah. Freddie Freeman has perfected that, and that's why he is who he is.
For me, it's always been trying to hit a Major League Baseball pitch is the most difficult thing in professional sports. Do you agree with that?
I completely agree. I've had friends that played in the NFL, played in the NBA. They step in the box just facing BP. They're amazed. How can you hit that? And that's just batting practice when you know what's coming.
Right.
When you have a guy on the mound, 60 feet, 6 inches, running up there on 98 to 100 miles an hour, also making it dart out of the zone with breaking ball, running it, cutting it, it truly is hard. And, as you get to that level, hitting it is not that difficult. And just hear me out. You want to make contact. Obviously, you want to make contact hard. But what makes it even more difficult is when you have guys on defense that can run it down the outfield and have incredible hands in the infield. Getting hits in the major leagues, that's the hardest thing. Not only hitting the ball, but getting hit. So when I see guys like Freddie Freeman hitting 340, I see that kid in Miami hitting 390. That is so impressive.
We'll have that debate about a quarterback standing in the pocket with the all-out blitz coming at you and getting hit by linemen 290 at 55 miles an hour. We'll have the debate when you get back here, Jerry. We'll get
Why
into
would
that.
Why would you ever want to do that?
Because you know what? The euphoria of a touchdown pass under the blitz and hit the side adjust for a touchdown, especially against the Chicago Bears. Against the Green Bay Packers is awesome. That's the feeling right there. As far as
against the Green Bay Packers, yes. I love that.
Hey, it always seems like James Outman we always talk about him because he's always en fuego when we talk to you about this young man. 4 for 4 last night. I mean, is he like the best kept secret in all Major League Baseball? This kid is dynamo.
Well, no, he's not a secret anymore.
No, I know.
Leaguers know exactly who he is. I mean, he's been outstanding. I love the adjustments he's made. And talk about a guy who's an athlete. He could have been in the NFL, one of the best high school football players in the state of California. Incredible safety. He's built really now like a linebacker, but he covers ground in center field. He's got incredible power as well, and he's really starting to develop his hit tools as well. So he's been fun to watch these last couple of weeks, and really is going to be fun to watch the rest of his career.
All right, about 40 seconds left. You got Fott on the mound tonight. His ERA is over 7. What is the book on him for the Dodgers this evening?
Well, you just kind of said it right there. He's been struggling a little bit, obviously, in the strike zone. You got to make sure you hit your pitch, not his pitch. Do not chase any of his pitches off the plate. Make sure he comes to you in the strike zone. And if he doesn't give you anything to hit, don't be afraid to pass the baton. Walks are really important, especially for our lineup. We start to grind at bats out. Before you know it, 3-run homer, and we have a 5 or 6 spot on the board. So any big league pitcher is tough. They got great stuff, but you got to make sure you hit your pitch.
It's always great, pal, when you take time with us. We always appreciate you. You have a great call and have fun this couple of days.
I will. Great talking to you guys.
Thank you, Jerry. That's Jerry Hairston Jr., everybody, now with LA Sports Net, working the Dodgers television broadcast. Always fun when we have him on the show. All right, a quick timeout. When we come back, random facts of the day, always presented by our partners with Valley Chevy Dealers. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Check this out. This is The Herd. You're excited. I'm excited. With Colin Cowherd.
You going to tell me when Michigan's at Washington and Oregon's at Penn State and Columbus and the Buckeyes are hosting USC, Iowa's going toe-to-toe with Washington, you're not going to watch those games? Yeah, I know. You're going to miss out on that Arizona State-Oregon State battle. Nobody watched. I saw the ratings.
This is The Herd. Tomorrow at 10. Listen to Fox Sports 910 anywhere on our free iHeartRadio app.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Cream locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at wrighttoyota.com.
And now it's time for
Random facts.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's the Random Fact of the Day with Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910.
You're live.
Hey, everybody, welcome back in. We're broadcasting live today, hanging out Barrio Queen in Queen Creek. It is Taco Tuesday, also El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. Time to get you now to the random fact of the day. It's always brought to you by your Valley Chevy Dealers.
Well, Jimmy, it seems like Major League Baseball has seen a lot of baseball players over the years, But the total is smaller than you might think. As of yesterday, Jimmy, in 147 years of baseball history, there have been a total of 20,459 major league players. Let me say that again. 20,459 major league ball players.
Is that a lot?
That's a whole hell of a lot. That includes everyone who played for the decades, right?
Okay.
So down to those who just appeared in one game. So for comparison, the smallest MLB baseball stadium is Tropicana Field. Would you not agree?
I agree. I've been there.
Home of the Tampa Bay Rays. It has a capacity of around 25,000 people, meaning every player who's ever made the major leagues could fit inside and it still wouldn't sell out.
Wow.
147 years, over 20,000 major leaguers, 20,459 to be exact, and it would basically still not sell out Tropicana.
I've been to the Trop. They had Final Four there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Back in the 90s, late 90s, they had a Final Four there. I was there doing a bunch of shows, TV shows, and I'm telling you, what a dump.
It is, and I will say this. We did a Arizona Rattlers indoor football game there.
Okay.
That big Tropicana, the way that they laid that whole thing out, very, very difficult. So, folks, football is here. The Valley Chevy dealers want to set up you with a new 65-inch smart TV for the upcoming season. All you have to do is take Chevy to 59925. That's Chevy to 59925, and one lucky listener will win a brand new big screen TV courtesy of the Valley Chevy dealers. Standard message and data rates apply. If you need more details, just head to our website, rockandmanuch.com, rockandmanuch.com. Again, your chance to win a big screen TV is now. So take Chevy to 59925.
All right, so Bobby Mack is going to come up roughly in about a half hour, 40 minutes from right now. He's at the practice for the Arizona Cardinals. Remember, they just signed Marlon Mack, the running back. Well, apparently, according to Bobby's most recent tweet of about 10 minutes ago, he has been taken off the field. Looks like an apparent knee injury to Marlon Mack, who they just signed.
Yeah, it's interesting too because I'm taking a good look at the depth chart. We've been talking about that depth chart per se,
right?
And Connor James obviously started, and then you had Keontae Ingram number 2, Corey Clement number 3. Marlon Mack was at 4th string, recently signed. It's unfortunate, but he was down the depth chart and probably highly unlikely not to make this team, probably not. But to get injured, not going to really know what the extent of the injury is. As you mentioned, we'll catch up with Bobby Mack here at 3:30 to see what the extent is. They probably won't know until tomorrow when they MRI it. But I look at this running back group right now: James Conner, Ingram, going into his second year, and then Corey Clement, solid. You got a good group of running back, I feel. The only home run hitter I think you have there is Keontae Ingram. James Conner, solid, big guy. We had a chance to interview him there on Radio Road during the Super Bowl. He's a big kid, Jimmy.
Yeah.
We interviewed him down there. He's about 6'1" 6'2", a good size.
Put together.
He really is. Outstanding young man. So I think the running back room will be fine. But if anybody else goes down, I'm sure they'll look along the waiver wire when those cuts start to happen.
It's going to be interesting when we have Bobby on to kind of really dive into what he's been watching out there and what he sees might take place this coming Friday night when indeed they have a game against the Denver Broncos.
And with this Denver Broncos team coming in, it's interesting. You got a new coach for Denver, but he's an experienced coach.
Right.
Won a
Sean
Super
Payton.
Bowl.
Yep. And
then you've got a guy that took his team to the Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator. Both teams really what do you call it? What's your term for somebody sucking really bad?
Suck pond water.
Yeah, there you go. Both of them drank a lot of that last year.
Yeah, they did.
So what happens is these new coaching staffs come in, and they want to establish their mantra. They want to establish their process. They want to establish this is the way we're going. So either you fall in line or you fall out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest thing. And guys buy into that. But guys only buy into that for so long. They've got to see success. And I think that these pro football players on both teams understand there's still a lot of missing pieces. But you got to buy in. You got to build. You got to stay committed. You got to really get on board to where both these coaches want to go, especially Sean Payton.
Sure.
He knows how to win it all. And then you look at Jonathan Gannon, he knows how to get there, and he knows how to win it, but he got to have dudes. You got to have the players. They both understand you've got to have players in key positions, and those are some of the things. We'll talk to Kyle Vandenbosch coming up here in about 20 minutes or so in the third hour to get his thoughts on what exactly that process is going to have to happen. But, Jimmy, that starts in training camp. That is, you're laying the groundwork, your very first training camp for that team.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been successful coaches that have gone on to other teams. I think of Jimmy Johnson with the Dallas Cowboys, went on to Miami.
Yep.
Didn't quite have the success that with Dallas, didn't quite have the players. But other coaches that have success going to other teams kind of lay that groundwork to kind of set the tone of this is where we're going, and this is what they know makes them successful. So that's kind of what these two coaches are doing as they head into their very first preseason game.
When you talk about coaches on the move after they've had success, I always think of Andy Reid, who had great success in Philadelphia with the Eagles, although they got to the Super Bowl but did not win it. But he was always in the playoffs with that team. He takes off, goes to Kansas City, and now he probably just has a spare room where he's got 900 Super Bowl trophies.
Well, think about that. You know, he had Donovan McNabb as his quarterback.
He did, yeah.
He's got Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback, two outstanding quarterbacks.
Right.
Andy Reid went to 5 NFC championship games.
Yeah,
2 5. Yeah. And the last time you're out, you lose, and you fire him?
Yeah, they did.
Can't get us over the top. Excuse me, you're at an NFC championship game. Now, that happened to Tony Dungy as well, too.
It did.
Tony Dungy.
With the Colts?
No, with Tampa Bay.
Oh, correct.
With Tampa Bay.
Yes.
He does it Tampa Bay. He can't get him over the top, They fire him. He goes to Indianapolis. He wins the Super Bowl. But what Tampa Bay does is they make a trade to get John Gruden to be their head coach, who gets them over the mountaintop. And quite frankly, if the ownership of Tampa Bay would have been more patient that following year, they would have won. You had Jonathan Lynch on that team.
Yeah.
You had Johnson as your quarterback. You had an outstanding group of players who beat the Raiders in that that Super Bowl. But it just goes to timing. And sometimes a coach can only take you so far. But isn't it amazing that 1 year later, Jonathan Gruden
1 minute
wins the Super Bowl, and you look at guys that move on. Then Andy Reid has to go to Kansas City before he wins the last 2 out of 3 Super Bowls.
It's amazing how that all plays out in professional sports. It's always amazing to me.
The impatience of some of these owners astounds me.
Yeah,
we'll just change them out, and that team should win it all. Well, the Eagles, it took them a couple years before Doug Peterson finally won it all.
Yes,
with
that's
the
correct.
Eagles.
Hey, Manuch referenced it. We are going to have former Arizona Cardinal defensive end Kyle Vandenbosch on, and then following him, Cardinal beat writer from the Arizona Republic and AZ Central, Bob McManaman. It's coming your way, everybody, as we broadcast from the Bio Queen here in Queen Creek. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
You're clear.
The people of Arizona have voted, and the results are official. Lerner & Rowe has won again, being voted best personal injury law firm 8 years in a row. We'd like to thank everyone who voted, making Lerner & Rowe the people's choice for personal injury. What makes this so popular? We've helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries, and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. We're recovering more money for more people than any other law firm in Arizona. Call us today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
It's the Chevy Summer Drive. See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive. Summer's here and so are the Chevy offers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive and find your new car, truck, crossover, or SUV or certified pre-owned vehicle today. Summer is hot and so are the deals going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. Don't miss the savings happening now during the Chevy Summer Drive. See your Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and the selection today.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on Around the NFL, win bragging rights of this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast, and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
With the Autio app riding shotgun, every road trip is an adventure.
Autio is my traveling companion.
It's educational, entertaining, funny. It makes the drive come to life.
The Audio app automatically plays you stories about the natural wonders, local legends, and fascinating histories outside your car window, with over 10,000 unique stories from coast to coast.
I've learned more about my hometown from the Audio app than I did growing up here.
Audio, the perfect companion for your next road trip. Learn more at AUTIO.com.
For quality referrals, your guy or my guy?
My guy.
Read reviews online from people you don't know or trust, or all the homework done for you at myguy.com.
My guy.
Sites that are all about making money and not your needs, or My Guy, that was voted #1 by consumers in Ranking Arizona.
My guy.
The choice is clear. My Guy Referrals, for home repairs to remodeling to hundreds of other services. Visit myguy.com for all of life's needs. Make
My guy.
your guy.
Are you shivering in the cold or sweating buckets in the heat? Say goodbye to discomfort with the AC Doctors same-day heating or cooling installation service.
AC Doctors, the only doctors who still make house calls. How can we transform your indoor comfort?
Help! I need a top-notch HVAC system installed pronto. Can you make it happen?
Absolutely. Our skilled technicians will make you feel just right before you can say perfect temperature.
Don't suffer any longer. Trust family-run AC Doctors with over 20 years of experience for prompt and efficient same-day installation. For year-round comfort, call the AC Doctors, 602-767-7435, or visit theacdoctors.com to make your perfect temperature our priority.
Joe Brown here with Accident Law Group. If you were hurt in an accident, find us on the web at accidentlawgroup.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Tomorrow from 10 to 1. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Brandon Font getting the ball for the Diamondbacks as they open a quick 2-game set against the Dodgers. Arizona enters the contest on a 6-game losing streak. The Cardinals released their depth chart ahead of Friday's preseason game with the Broncos. Top pick Paris Johnson is at right tackle, while Colt McCoy is listed as the team's starting quarterback. The Coyotes announced single-game tickets will go on sale August 11th. The home opener set for October 21st against the Ducks. And Diana Taurasi of the Mercury named the WNBA's Western Conference Player of the Week. She became the first in league history to get 10,000 career points. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC needs, call
Fortunately, we're seeing some storms develop later tonight with those temperatures dipping down to the upper 80s. And then for your Tuesday, another pretty much carbon copy of what we saw today, 108 degrees with a slight chance of seeing some storms and breezy. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Late Night, open until midnight or later. Wendy's is open until midnight or later, which means all your favorite menu items are up later too. The Baconator still tastes just as juicy and bacony at night, so listen to that craving and turn in for the night at a Wendy's drive-thru. Hours may vary at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
Well, there's a little baseball game that's going to take place downtown. Probably, 6:40 first pitch, so a little over 3 hours away. The top team, LA Dodgers, are in town to face the Snakes tonight. The Dodgers are just rolling while the Diamondbacks are going in the opposite direction.
You know, I'll give you the numbers real quick, Jimmy.
Sure, go for it.
Dodgers have won 7 out of the last 10 games.
Okay.
In those 7 games they've won, they've scored 59 runs. They're averaging 8.5 per game in those victories, right? Only giving up about 3 per game. And we just had Jerry Harrison last hour, Jerry Harrison Jr., part of the LA Dodgers broadcast team, TV team. And, you know, they scuffled in July, the starting rotation. Well, they've got their act together in reference to the pitching. They're hitting lights out. And this is a team that put 12 on the Padres yesterday. They're just hitting the cover off the baseball. But think about that, Jimmy. 8.5 runs per game in those victories and winning 7 out of the last 10. They're 4 games up with the Giants. They're 9 games up of the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are absolutely reeling. Diamondbacks are now 2 games back of the wild card. They've lost 22 of the last 29 games, and they've lost 6 in a row. On top of that, they got outscored in those 6 losses, 29-11. So this is an opportunity for Fott, who's got the mound tonight, 0-5, 7.11 ERA, versus Urias, who's finally starting to settle down.
You're right.
And be interesting, but this is go time.
It is.
I mean, you got a 2-game set with the Dodgers at home. Padres are coming in. They're struggling for a 3-game set. Then you hit the road. So at some point, they got to flip the script. So it ain't over, obviously, but you're 2 games back. But those other 5 teams in front of you, they're all fighting for that final wild card spot. It's going to be very difficult for this team who needs to learn how to get runners across the plate when it counts. And you can't rely on the long ball. So I think, you know what I think, Jimmy? To get this offense moving, I think we'll start. And they had 8 stolen bases in the last game against Minnesota. So that'll continue. But I think a lot more hit and run, moving guys over, mixing a suicide squeeze. You got to get some offense going, some
create runs,
motion offense, something with this team to get these guys off the schneid, create some excitement. And if you fail, okay, but you're being aggressive with this offense.
All right, so once again, that's 6:40 first pitch downtown Chase Field. Now, the Cardinals are out on the practice field. Bob McManaman is going to join us at 3:30. Coming up at about 3:15, Kyle Vandenbosch will be our guest, and we'll do the All Cardinals Hour at that time. However, there's an interesting story, and it involves the Washington Commanders. And everybody was so happy when the sale of the Commanders took place and they got rid of Daniel Snyder. And all of the stories coming out of there were all so positive. But all of a sudden, Manuch, somebody complains that they don't like what's going on with their brand new offensive coordinator.
Oh, this cracks me up.
I thought you would say
Cry me a freaking river.
Yeah.
Some Commanders players concerned by Eric Bieniemy's intensity. Coming from the head coach, Ron Rivera said. Are you kidding me?
Come on.
Seriously, guys, he has always been an excitable, intense guy. He's the offensive coordinator, man. He's coming in there to the Commanders to get this lame duck, fizzled out offense or team with new ownership, right? To come in there and crack the whip. And if anybody's complaining about his intensity, just pack your crap and get the hell out of Dodge, because guess what? He's not changing.
No, that's him.
That's his job. He's the offensive coordinator. He's going to be on you. He's going to be in your grill, all over your rear end. And guess what? That's what it takes to win football games. I don't think I heard anybody in Kansas City that was complaining about his intensity, about how hard he works his guys, his offense. Oh, by the way, they've won how many Super Bowls last year? 2. Oh, yeah. Hey, you knuckleheads that are complaining, take a page for the Kansas City Chiefs to see exactly what this guy can do for you to get you off the schneid, to get you off the heap, if you will, and to get your butt winning football games. Anybody that complains, if I had a guy, if I'm the head coach, and some knucklehead came to me, hey, man, he's too intense for us. He yells at us. He does this. He does that. I look at him and go, what's your name again? Jim Bob Stevens. Hey, Jim Bob, go grab your playbook, bring it to me, pack your stuff, and I'm going to get a driver, and we're going to haul your ass off to the airport. Thanks for showing up, because that's not going to happen around here. Are you kidding me? Complaining about his intense? Oh, my gosh. I mean, go talk to all those Sun Devil players that played for Frank Kush, that he was intense. He was in it, that won all those games at ASU.
He did.
Won the Fiesta Bowls. I mean, I've had coaches intense. Thank God they were intense and all of my grill in order for me to win. Hold on a second. I know that's a foreign topic in Washington. To win football game.
A W?
Yeah, W, to win football games, and to have a guy come in and to say, we are tired of complacency, things are going to change, and if you don't like it, leave. Go leave.
The Commanders,
go make $10 an hour flipping burgers.
The Commanders averaged 19 points a game last year.
It is just incredible. His key word is finish on every carry.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. So you're a running back, instead of running 10 yards, you got to run another 10 yards to the end zone? How about Jerry Rice? Every time he caught a pass, he ran the entire length of the field. Every practice, every day, for every time he played. So I see this, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, first of all, we want to put flags on these guys, make it a flag football game. Then you can't hit the quarterback. Then you can't tackle. I mean, what's next? Complaining because your coach is intense? Really? Then if you can't take the heat, get the hell out of the kitchen. This stuff drives me nuts.
I can tell. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, you know what? He goes, Rivera said some players were a little concerned with how hard Bieniemy was riding them. And he goes, quote, I had a number of guys come to me and I said, hey, just go talk to him. I said, understand what he's trying to get across to you, Rivera said. He also says, quote, as they go and they talk and they listen to him, it's been enlightening for a lot of these guys. I mean, it's a whole different approach. Oh, my gosh. You mean if we continue to do this, we might have a chance to win because he's in my grill about when I screw up and I get on him, and it's not about participation trophies anymore. And I hate to tell you guys, we don't have no NIL deals here. It's called the National Football League. And if you don't like it, it's called Not For Long.
That's correct.
I just, and Ron Rivera's like, you go talk to him.
Yeah.
He's your coach.
I knew that would fire you up, and I was not disappointed.
It's funny because it just quote this is coming from Rivera again.
Okay.
It says, quote, as a coach, I have to assimilate and get a feel for everybody, close quote. Eric has an approach, and it's the way he does things. It's not going to change because he believes in it. Defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio has his approach. Having been a head coach, I think Jack has a tendency to try to figure guys out a little bit more as opposed to it. Hey, this is it. This is what it's going to be. That type of stuff, Eric hasn't had that experience yet. Guess what? He's coming from a Super Bowl team that's won 2 out of the last 3. Mm-hmm. He knows what it takes to win.
Yes.
You knuckleheads are having issues, go pack your stuff and go try to go get a real job and then come back.
It's amazing to me that has come out of the Washington Redskins. And here's what I'm a little surprised about, is that Ron Rivera would bring that to the attention of the news media. So my next question then to you is, did he do that on purpose to try to make it even more problematic for those players who were complaining? Or did it just kind of slip out in conversation?
I would make a note of those that are complaining.
Okay.
I would definitely do it. And then I would say, you want some cheese with that wine? It just drives me nuts. And this is quote coming from Bieniemy, who's been interviewed. He said he tries to head off any potential issues by sitting down with players before it gets too bad. He called himself an open book. It's pretty sad that he's got to do that. You're a professional football player. Either you deal with it or you don't, and you move on. He's trying to make you the best you possibly can.
Right.
So that stuff is like, you should thank the good Lord you got a chance to be in the professional football player.
I agree.
And that you have Eric Bieniemy as your offensive coordinator dealing with you to get you to become the best you can. If I'm Ron Rivera, I'm saying, look, if you don't like it, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out, okay? Enough said. Move on. Next.
Fair enough. I thought it would kind of spark you a little bit, and I was not disappointed in the response. Coming up next, we're going to talk They have a date with the Broncos Friday night. First NFL preseason game. Former Cardinals defensive end Kyle Vanden Bosch is going to speak about it. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports.
Cry me a river, for crying out loud.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
There's a wreck on southbound 17 near Bethany Home Road. Approaching Bethany Home, you'll find the HOV and left lane blocked and heavy traffic back to Northern Avenue. A wreck on the northbound 17 frontage road north of McDowell. A crash on Chandler Boulevard and 56th Street.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer.
Warning, if you are 60 or older, RSV can be a dangerous respiratory virus.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. This message is brought to you by Pfizer.
Join Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win the Twin Peaks Man Card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
It's the Chevy Summer Drive. See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive. Summer's here and so are the Chevy offers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive and find your new car, truck, crossover, or SUV or certified pre-owned vehicle today. Summer is hot and so are the deals going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. Don't miss the savings happening now during the Chevy Summer Drive. See your Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and the selection today.
Hey, it's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the sports book at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the sports book at CAZ Sports Bar.
Holiday bills bringing you down? Global Capital makes it easier for you. Start 2023 on the right track. Call professionals at GC Global Capital, 480-397-9300 to see if their debt consolidation home loan program can benefit you. They save their clients tons of cash each month with their valuable refinancing programs. Your home is your most valuable asset. Why work with anyone else? Call GC Global Capital, 480-397-9300. GC Global Capital, your gift for the holidays. GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage broker, NMLS 1091187. License NB 0924893 and equal opportunity lender.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
The Cardinals release their depth chart ahead of Friday's preseason game of the Broncos. Top pick Paris Johnson is at right tackle. Quarterback Colt McCoy is listed as a team starter. The team is holding their second to last open practice of the preseason. The final one is tomorrow. The 18th season of Hard Knocks begins tonight. The documentary series is following the New York Jets as they get prepared for the upcoming season. I'm Frank Garrity.
This is Eric Dickerson. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Staples Stores.
Staples has what you need for travel. Passport photos, luggage, headphones, even personal travel-sized items. Now get $10 off your purchase of 30 or more when you buy a travel service. In-store only offer ends September 16th. Exclusions apply. Staples, your first stop to nonstop travel.
All right, everybody, we are broadcasting this afternoon from the Barrio Queen at Queen Creek. Great crowd already on hand for lunch. We are here until 4 o'clock. And that means it is a Taco Tuesday and also an El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. Kyle Vanden Bosch, former Cardinal, Titan, Lions defensive end, is our guest right now. He joins us on the Wright Toyota guest line. Kyle, it's Jimmy B and Manuch today. I know that being the football guy that you are, did you run to your laptop and look at all of the depth charts that were available for the National Football League?
It's kind of like Christmas for a lot of us. I'm going to check out the depth chart. Let's go check it out.
Yeah, I always do look forward to the first depth chart. Now, typically, the first depth chart, it comes with a disclaimer from the head coach saying, hey, we just kind of slap it together to get through this game. I don't know if you remember last year with the Cardinals, I don't think any of the starters were even listed on the depth chart. So it's typically not very accurate. But you have to assume you can take a little bit from this. Jonathan Gannon, to this point, to my knowledge, has not had that disclaimer of, just take it with a grain of salt. We're just trying to get a team out there on the field. He said from day one that this is going to be at every position an open competition, and everybody needs to earn their job. So, you do get a feeling that while there may be, some adjustments, that this is, to a degree pretty accurate, but that's, we haven't had any live football yet. And when the pads start popping, things typically change.
It's interesting you say that, Kyle, because I typically I look at all this like you with a grain of salt. You go, okay, this could change. But it's that 5 days before the first game of the season on September 10th that you look at and go, okay, now let me look at the depth chart. Who washed out? Who didn't? Who did their job? Who can be counted on, or I call it accountability? Who can be trusted? And we probably won't see much change. But there could be, as you said, so when the pads get to popping and preseason live ammo gets to going, there might be some tweaking. I'll just say that, some tweaking to this depth chart.
Yeah, I agree with that. Some things that just kind of stand out is I'm not sure that Antonio Hamilton has run with the ones at all in camp, and he's listed as one.
Yep.
Typically throughout the training camp practices that we were able to watch, it's been Christian Matthew and Keitrell Clark that are opposite of Marco Wilson. So, it may be a thing where coaches don't want to hand a young player or a rookie the job and they're neck to neck. So you put a guy with experience who started the number of games, you put him as the starter, but those other two might be ahead of him a little bit on the depth chart. And, up to this point, it's really about what trust have you earned with the coaching staff and your teammates. Because I look at interior defensive line, for example, to me at this point, all of those guys are interchangeable. Somebody needs to stand out and show that they can be a difference maker or at least contribute. But you look at Rashard Lawrence, who, when healthy, is probably the most dynamic inside player on the roster. He's sitting at third on the depth chart, but he hasn't earned that trust with his coaching staff. He missed most of the off season with injury and parts of training camp. So, you have to believe that he's going to have to take an opportunity to not only show what he can do, but show that he's reliable and dependable.
The other thing, too, Kyle, is the first thing I want to look for is to see where they had Isaiah Simmons, and they've got him as the nickelback, starter per se, and backup safety. So it sounds as though they've got him at a position, at least for now, which is more of a safety / slot corner, nickelback, whatever you want to call it. So you had a chance to watch him as far as cover skills are concerned, and very good tackler. He's an aggressive kid, but I guess I tell you what, you get him matched up with some of these little guys inside that can run, and it makes me a little nervous that he would be your starting nickelback in this defense.
Yeah, and look, he's been bounced around. He's been put in a number of positions. He said in his interview earlier this week, he was moved to different positions out of necessity because of injuries to the roster, and he did what the coaches thought was best for the team, but it wasn't necessarily best for him. And the interesting thing is they drafted him to be an inside linebacker. I don't think Isaiah Simmons is a dynamic player or a difference maker playing in a phone booth, which typically as an inside backer, that's what you are. You're responsible for a gap, a pretty small area. You drop to a zone, things like that. Because of his athletic ability, because of how long he is and how rangy and really instinctual, I think they're finding a right spot for him. You put him at the back end of the defense, let him diagnose, make sure his eyes are in the right place. And, we've seen it before in games where, once he recognizes something and pulls the trigger, he can close quickly and he can make some devastating hits once he gets there. So, it's while he's, in my opinion, nowhere near where Budda Baker is. He's that type of player where he has the ability to fix other people's mistakes. And if you put him in space, let him be that rangy sideline to sideline type player, he might just find his home.
Kyle Vanden Bosch is our guest on the Wright Toyota guest line. Kyle, I'm real curious. You've been there. You've watched a little bit. Give me just your overall view of what you have seen so far. And is it what you hoped and expected at a training camp under a rookie new head coach?
Yeah, I mean, it is what I expected. It's an efficient practice. I think things are run well. I think players are bought in to not only the changing culture that this coaching staff is trying to bring, but really, the coaches are invested in the players. That my example with Isaiah Simmons, they came to him and said, "Where do you see yourself? What would you like to play?" And he came out and said, "I don't want to play linebacker." And so while you don't always afford that luxury, when you have that give and take with the players as a coaching staff, you earn that trust. Players know that you have their best interest at heart. Even though the team comes first, they do want you to succeed as an individual and as a player. And with that, you get buy-in from the players. And I think while it's hard to see buy-in on the practice field, you hear it in player interviews. You hear it when they speak about what they're doing and the scheme and this coaching staff. So, it's difficult to say what we're going to see in preseason games. Sometimes what a team looks like in the preseason. I mean, if you remember season last year, the Cardinals were really efficient. And I don't even know if they had any penalties in their first preseason game, which is almost unheard of in the preseason. And then they hit the regular season, it's a completely different story. So it's difficult to get a lot from it. I think as a coaching staff who's trying to evaluate players, I think primarily you're trying to get players in one-on-one situations to see how they match up with other players, to see how they do, when they're asked to beat the man across from them. So, I think that's the big thing is with so many new players, with so many new coaches, this is just an extended evaluation process. So, and the thing that I'm looking forward to with this new staff and with Coach Jonathan Gannon's philosophy and with so many new players, you get the feeling that, very few jobs are safe. No jobs are guaranteed, and that it truly is an open competition at almost every position. And whereas last year, you got the feeling through training camp and through preseason that starting positions were grandfathered into veterans. And it didn't really matter what they did in training camp. It didn't matter how many times they practiced or if they ever took a snap in any preseason games. They were going to be starters come game one. You get the feeling that rookies, undrafted free agents that were signed from other teams, that every player is being given an equal opportunity. And when you get that healthy competition in the locker room, the whole team really, pushes each other, and you're able to make progress throughout training camp. It just felt like training camp last year was an unnecessary or just a necessary evil that the team had to go through just to get to the regular season, and it didn't feel like there was any development. It just felt like the starters were already named, and maybe there was some tough decisions at the back end of the roster with 5 or 6 players.
Yeah, and that was, I think, a lot of the players out there relayed that too, Kyle, that there's more urgency, there's more to this, there's more want to. When I first looked at this depth chart, I'm looking for the 4-3 front. The way they got it listed, it's a 34 look that they have here. And I'm just curious. They came into camp, a lot of 4-3 look. Zaven Collins, backside in, hand in the dirt. To have this listed as a 34 front, now I know this can change, but I wonder if they did that because Collins not quite the individual they look as a pure defensive end, and to get him standing up and be that strong side or Sam Backer. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, from everything I've heard, it doesn't seem like they're necessarily married to one front. It is surprising based on the success that both Jonathan Gannon and Nick Wallace had with the Eagles last year and the dominance that they had with their front four. But let's be honest, we don't have those players. We don't have the same personnel that they had in Philly last year. So, you keep hearing Jonathan Gannon, Nick Wallace, Drew Petzing talk about maximizing the talent of the players they have. Well, I see the strength of the defense being, the safety position, obviously. I think they have with Kazir White and, the inside linebackers that they brought in. I think that their safeties and their linebackers will be the strength of this defense. And, typically, if you can find an edge rusher or two at the stand-up outside linebacker position, your guys up front, if they're not pass rushers, then you take on blocks and let your linebackers scrape and make plays. And I think that's kind of where they're evolving to is, just on paper, just based on past history, none of the guys they have lined up inside are difference makers or game changers. And so you use them, you eat up blocks, you let your linebackers scrape, you let your edge linebackers try to get after the quarterback, and that, that way you're maximizing what potential or the talent that you do have on your defense.
All right, about 45 seconds left in this segment. Have you had a chance to watch any of the QB that was drafted out of Houston, Clayton Tune? And if so, is he as good as advertised so far?
He really is. I think he's done really well coming in and executing in training camp practices. Throws a nice ball, has a big physical frame. He's athletic. He can, pull it down and get you yardage and convert, third downs if he needs to. It's always interesting with rookies. A lot of times this happens, particularly quarterbacks that come in, they look sharp. But the big question is, what's he going to look like when live bullets are flying, when he's got pass rushers that can actually hit him, and he's not wearing, whatever, the yellow jersey or red jersey, and he's not untouchable anymore. So, those are some things that we're going to figure out this preseason, and again, whereas most NFL teams don't put a lot of stock in preseason games and preseason performance. You get the feeling that for this team, it really matters to most of the players in that locker room how they perform, and it may depend on not only their spot on the depth chart, but whether they make the team or not.
Always good, pal. When you take time with us, we always appreciate you. Thank you, bud. You have a good day.
Thanks, guys. It was my pleasure.
There you go. Kyle Vanden Bosch checking in with us, the latest out of the Cardinals training camp. Once again, Friday night, a date with the Denver Broncos. The All Cardinals Hour continuing right now. Arizona Cardinals beat writer Bob McManaman is our guest. You follow Bobby at the Arizona Republic Central Sports. Bobby Mack is next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
This is what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
The Cardinals released their depth chart ahead of Friday's preseason game with the Broncos. Top pick Paris Johnson is at right tackle, and Colt McCoy is listed as the team's starting quarterback. The Coyotes announced single-game tickets will go on sale August 11th. Their home opener is October 21st against the Ducks. Mercury star Diana Taurasi was named the WNBA's Western Conference Player of the Week for becoming the first in league history to amass 10,000 career points. Brandon Font takes the hill for the Diamondbacks as they open a 2-game series against the Dodgers. The Snakes enter the contest on a 6-game losing streak. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, we do have a chance of seeing some storms develop later tonight with those temperatures dipping down to the upper 80s. And then for your Tuesday, another pretty much carbon copy of what we saw today, 108 degrees with a slight chance of seeing some storms and breezy. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Parker & Sons.
Parker & Sons, your AC, plumbing, electrical, and even water filtration experts. With Parker & Sons, you get service in minutes, not days. So call 602-2REPAIR for Parker. We're not your average Joe.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection.
I got him.
WrightToyota.com.
Whether it's beer and wings with the guys or a steak or ribs with that special someone, Tavern Grill Scottsdale is the place to be. Tavern Grill is now the home of Huss Brewing Company's Roc and Manuch Lager. Tavern Grill Scottsdale at 8880 East Via Linda.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport.
Oh, I don't know. They just schedule me when they schedule me.
How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now.
Isn't it hard to make money with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy when you fill up at
He tends to, it tends to be about 2 weeks at a time, but, sometimes changes happen last minute, and then we don't get it till, like, a week before, so.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading.
Yeah, I just wanted you guys to, if you're going to send stuff, send it to me.
Every time you buy gas from participating stations like Circle K. Use promo code 2023 for an extra 50 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card.
Yeah, I figured that would help. I always see that up there, too.
Use promo code 2023 for a 50 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code 2023.
Staples has great prices on everything you need for back to school. Right now, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons and marble comp books are just 50 cents each. Pricing may vary in-store and online. NZ26, comp books in-store only. School on, save on at Staples.
Taking you inside the Cards locker room and down to the field with the Big Red Report. Each week, Arizona Republic's AC Central Sports' Bob McManaman joins Roc and Manuch to analyze the Cards and the rest of the NFL. Follow Bob on Twitter at AZBobbyMac. Now, here's Bobby Mack on Fox Sports 910.
You're live.
Hey, everybody, welcome back in. We're here at the Barrio Queen. Green Creek is where you can find us. It is Taco Tuesday, also an El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well, which means if we're doing Barrio Queen and El Bandito Yankee Tequila, that is a perfect spot for our next guest. It is the one, the only, Bob McManaman. You can find him on Twitter, AZ Bobby Mac, and he joins us right now. Bobby, how are you? Jimmy B. and Manuch.
I'm great. I'm happy to be the chips and salsa of your show.
I love it. Hey, you're not an appetizer. You're a staple, Bob. You're a meal, man.
I'm a burrito supreme, man.
With a shot of El Bandito Yankee Tequila.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey, we while we were doing the show, we always keep up with what you're tweeting out. We saw that Marlon Mack was taken in. Did it look like a leg injury to you? What do you got?
Yeah, we were heading into the locker room post practice. He was walking by, and his left leg. I tweeted it looked like his right. It was hard to tell what he was putting pressure on, what he wasn't. But he was in a walking boot up to his knee. It looks more lower leg, like an ankle. Could be a calf. I don't think you put a boot on for a calf strain though. So. It didn't look good. He was on crutches and getting helped out to go probably get some doctor work. So we'll see tomorrow when John Gannon has his last press conference of camp from State Farm Stadium anyways.
Hey, Bob, I love your other story. The cold tub time machine.
Yeah.
I love it. We used to do that anytime, like 3 or 4 days in, your arm, your legs down. I mean, that cold tub, that is the nectar of life. Bring your body back after 4 or 5 days, man. Trust me, that cold tub.
I thought it was, something different to write about. Some guys love it. Some guys don't like it. I would never get in one, and I'm hurt all the time. I'm not doing it.
Well, you know what?
And that.
Go ahead.
The cryotherapy stand-up unit, which they had and they got rid of, I guess, because nobody was using it. That thing gets down to 200, 300 degrees below zero. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that, and I'd rather have the cold tub. But if you can hang in there from the neck down for at least 3 to 4 minutes. But man, that is so good for your as far as a lot of the aches and pains and inflammation and all that kind of stuff. That stuff, and you know what, Bob? You'll sleep great that night if you're in that cold tub for about a good 5 minutes.
Well, you can have all the cold water you want, Paige. I'm not getting in that thing for nothing.
I don't blame you. Serious shrinkage, I can tell you that right now with that.
I'll bet you could. I'll get in a tub of tequila before I do that.
Now, smart man. Now, you might have some new medicine right there, Bob. Get that tequila in the pores.
That's right.
Hey, what do you with what you've been able to ascertain at the practices? What do you expect to see Friday night? Starters in? Will they play several series? They're not going to play. What do you got?
We haven't got a straight answer out of the head coach, and I doubt we will until we see what happens with our own eyes. But I'll tell you what I hope I see. I hope I see what I saw today in practice, which was by far the most lively, animated, intense, angry, crazed players on the field. They were getting after it time after time today in the 11-on-11 period, and there were scraps after scraps, and I loved it. I mean, these guys are ready to go, and they didn't hold back. It was offensive linemen going against corners and safeties and linebackers and D linemen. They weren't having any of it. They took exceptions to the hard hitting, and Coach loved it. Coach Rallis, anyways, the DC said everything was within the rules. You love to see it, and that was by far the most angry I've seen anybody work in a Cardinals camp in years. Which is good.
Oh yeah. There's a bunch of caged dogs basically haven't had a chance to go taste the meat because they've been thumbing tagging, and then all of a sudden they get a chance to go hit somebody. It's like, all right, it's on.
It was intense.
Oh, I can. Well, it should be, Bob. It's training camp.
Yeah. No more Cam cupcakes, fellas.
No. Any fracases break out? Little rough stuff?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what you said.
There was at least 3 or 4 of them, and they all happened within like 5 minutes of each other. And
Okay.
It was great. Gannon had to kick a few. Finally, he just had enough and sent all the first teams off the field.
Wow.
They were going at it. It was all first teamers against first teamers, which you like to see in training camp. You want to see the ones go against the ones to better themselves. And he he liked it, but he didn't like it. Alice loved it and told us so. So that was good. There was some other good stuff today, but I that stood out by far the most.
You know, it's interesting to listen to Sean Payton in his presser a little bit earlier today and talking about what he expects from his team as far as he's going to play. His guys are football players. They're there to play. He's going to play. It seems as though Jonathan Gannon wants to kind of match that to kind of set the tone or the mantra for this team heading into the year that, if, we're going to play you, and we're not going to be just hanging out waiting for the regular season to start.
Yeah, that's true. And to piggyback off of what Vanderbosch was saying, Gannon's going to let young guys compete, and they're going to play. And if they play well, they're going to overtake some veterans, and that's also different. That never used to happen here. All the coaches that have been here previously, save for a couple instances at certain positions like quarterback, they wait on rookies to develop. I remember when Wisenhunt and that regime drafted Patrick Peterson, they weren't sure if he was ready to be a starter as rookie. Or I'm like, are you kidding me? The best cornerback to come out in how many years, probably? And, begrudgingly, they started him. they didn't want to practice a whole lot with the first team that rookie year. It was stupid, really. But this is different. Yeah, it's a take on all prisoners. We're not afraid of you. Come match up, and we'll go play some football. Look, I still don't think they're going to win that many games, but they do have a killer instinct about them, and it's spreading like wildfire, and that's also very good to see.
Yeah, the depth chart comes out, and I don't think there's any surprise. I was a little surprised that Hamilton, at least for now, will be the left corner.
Yeah.
And as far as Isaiah Simmons, they got him as nickelback / starter from that standpoint.
Yeah, that's not where he's going to play. He's going to play deep safety.
Yeah, well,
and I think you're going to see JT Jalen Thompson play more of that upper corner slot / nickel safety spot. They're going to keep Isaiah. Now he did blitz a couple times today in the 11-on-11. But he's going to be the free safety.
Wow.
They're not going to mess around there. I think there's some reasons why they're doing that. I think he's going to be able to do okay there, but it remains to be seen. That's a guy you want to watch on Friday night, number 9. See where he's at. Usually it's going to be deep. I don't think that's a bad call. It's a way of utilizing his skills, but also hiding some of his inadequacies at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Other teams have done that with big, tall, rangy guys. You don't see a lot of 6'4" free safeties in the NFL. There's been a couple. I think the tallest ever was 6'6". But this guy is fast. He can hit. We'll see about his coverage skills, but he's embracing the role. I'll have a big story on him Friday morning. Hopefully you guys can read that.
Absolutely. I just go wherever I see a Bobby Mack story. I'm on it. My deal is okay. It's the truth. Jamin Collins. They have him listed now in a 3-4, and they have him outside linebacker. What did you see today?
He's an outside linebacker.
Okay.
He's their edge guy, standing up, and I think he'll be okay. I'm a little worried about some things with his game there. This just like Isaiah. This is a prove it year, and he's it's again a new role. He's done this to some extent before, here and there, on scheme situations and matchups. But he'll also drop back at times in that role. And Kyle is right. They're going to play 3-4 and a 4-3, and they're going to rotate it all over the place. So the role really won't change. But I think you'll see a lot of Zaven Collins lining up on the edge, left or right. Mostly at left right now, but that can change.
Clayton Tune looks like to be what I'm reading here, the third-string quarterback. It seems as though they want to play him, or they've been talking up. And you've even written about that as well, too, Bobby, that they want to play this young man quite a bit and try to get a reps get Colt McCoy seasoned or knock the rust off. But has he truly beaten out David Blau and Jeff Driscoll?
Yeah, he already has, in my opinion. He's the backup right now to Colt McCoy.
Right.
He got some reps with the first team again today, and he's been the number 2 guy since camp open. That hasn't changed at all. And again, like I said, he's getting first team reps, so they know, and we all know that he's going to get some time. He's going to get a chance, and I don't know if he's going to beat out Colt McCoy until Kyler's ready, but it's there for the taking if he does extremely well and Colt either gets nicked up or struggles for whatever reason.
Bobby, okay.
Clayton's going to jump right into that.
Okay. Bobby, in your estimation, what does he do really well then that has got everybody so excited?
He can see the field really well. I mean, he commands the huddle from what I can tell. He's fairly accurate on almost all of his throws. He can run. He can withstand. He can hide from pressure. He can move and dance back there, but he's efficient. He's effective. He doesn't wait very long to get rid of that ball. I mean, that's what you want in a quarterback: execution, delivery, accuracy. He's got all that. He's smart. I mean, and look, interestingly enough, despite college quarterbacks these days running the spread and those crazy offenses we all love to watch, he's done a lot of work in the huddle. He said about 40 to 60% of the time they were in the huddle at Houston, which stroked me I couldn't believe it. But so that's something that's good also, because that's what the Cardinals are going to do a lot this year. They're going to huddle. Not that they won't go to the shotgun and hurry up, but he's got history there. That's something he does well.
Man, it's great always when you come on the show. So now, Manuch and I, we've been thinking about what you just said that we should do. El Bandito Yankee Tequila Ice Tub.
Okay, I'm in.
Thank you, buddy. Always great to talk to you.
All right.
See you, Bobby.
Thank you for having me.
You got it, man, always. Bobby Mack, you can always read his material, and he's terrific, obviously. Arizona Republic, also AZ Central Sports. On Twitter, just go at AZ Bobby Mack.
Also, he's got a story about, we forget about this, is the coordinators and offensive coordinator Drew Pett saying, this is his first game as an offensive coordinator.
Right.
As is his defensive coordinator. So this is kind of a dress rehearsal for these guys as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
Learning how to put the guys on the field, making sure they've got the right packages. So there's a lot that goes into that. So it's not only for the players, it's for the coaches and these new coordinators as well, how they manipulate a game, how they manage a game. And to your point earlier, they're not going to have a game plan, but they want to make sure they are comfortable when game 1 starts on September 10th, getting guys in and out, different packages, getting the right personnel in there.
Mm-hmm.
So for Drew Petzing, the offensive coordinator, it's game 1 for him as well, too.
I'm with you on that. All right, great stuff as always. Quick timeout. Well, it's our Liter in Row 1 call, that's all, and it's next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
This is The Odd Couple.
So most of these clips we have are over a minute, other than the one that we did for the baseball.
I want to be on the move, and I see Anthony Davis. I'm looking at the Lakers for that reason alone. This is a win for the Lakers.
The shortest clip you have is the Mookie Betts one.
Today at 4, tell your smart speaker to play Fox Sports 910. Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
There is an accident 19th Avenue at Broadway. Okay. Also a crash in Chandler Alma School at Pecos Road. We have an accident with a vehicle into a light pole. This is Bell Road at Dysart, and a crash Broadway at the Loop 101.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer.
Warning, if you are 60 or older, RSV can be a dangerous respiratory virus.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. This message is brought to you by Pfizer.
It's coming next month. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's Monday night tailgate party at Casino, Arizona. They're planning their biggest year yet. Go get ready to win your share of the cash prizes each week. It's back, the Monday night tailgate at Casino, Arizona.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of Game Day.
See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive going on now. New inventory arriving daily. See your Valley Chevy dealers today.
Jenny!
Hey, Jenny!
Jenny, come on in! Steve!
Hey, Steve!
Steve, how you doing?
Meg!
Meg, nice to see you! Hey, Meg!
Arena Sports Grill. Come on out for the sports, off-track betting, incredible food, and friendly faces. The best daily specials in Scottsdale. Arena Sports Grill, 62nd Street in Bell. We know you.
Are you shivering in the cold or sweating buckets in the heat? Say goodbye to discomfort with the AC Doctors same-day heating or cooling installation service.
AC Doctors, the only doctors who still make house calls. How can we transform your indoor comfort?
Help! I need a top-notch HVAC system installed pronto. Can you make it happen?
Absolutely. Our skilled technicians will make you feel just right before you can say perfect temperature.
Don't suffer any longer. Trust family-run AC Doctors with over 20 years of experience for prompt and efficient same-day installation. For year-round comfort, call the AC Doctors, 602-767-7435, or visit theacdoctors.com to make your perfect temperature our priority.
Average break-in lasts 8 to 10 minutes, so fast response is crucial.
That's why SimpliSafe launched its breakthrough technology 24/7 live guard protection to help stop crime in real time.
SimpliSafe monitoring agents can actually see, speak to, and deter intruders.
Right now, get 20% off any SimpliSafe system when you sign up for a free month trial of Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/Armstrong.
That's simplisafe.com/Armstrong. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
It's the Lerner and Rowe. One call, that's all. Call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
Where to put him? That swings away 3-0. Driven deep left field. Gone! Betts with number 31. It's a grand slam. They are going to play defense with the lead. Down 5-0. Only one out here in the top of the fourth, and 8 runs across.
Thank you to LA Sportsnet for that highlight. Mookie Betts with a grand slam yesterday as the Dodgers won over the Padres, and they are in town this evening to play the Snakes, and that will start just about 2.5 hours from right now. That is our Lerner and Rowe one call. That's all. In a wreck, need a check, one call, 602-977-1900. You can always go to lernerandrowe.com, and you get a free consultation as well. One call, that's all. Lerner and Rowe at 602-977-1900. Now, let's get to what's on tap.
All right, Xander, pour me a cold one, if you would, please. About that time.
Oh, yeah.
At 6:40, first pitch, Dodgers at the Diamondbacks. Speaking of that Dodger team, that'll be on YourView or MLB.TV. That's either YourView. If you got Cox, that's Channel 4 or MLB.TV. So what's on tap, brought to you by Roc and Manuch Lager, by Huss Brewing Company, now available at the Tavern Grill in Scottsdale, which is at 88th Street and East Via Linda. The Arena Sports Grill on Bell Road and 62nd Street. Upper Crust at Cave Creek Road and the 101. Now, that's right next to the Costco and the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Try it for yourself. That's the Roc and Manuch Lager by Huss Brewing Company.
All right, our State 48 Roofing, it's your call. Question of the day. Manuch, a lot of people hitting this one.
Yeah, they can. You can still vote on it by going to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. What is the downside to the new conference realignment in college sports? Is it conferences too big, lack of rivalries, too much travel, or other? Well, currently too much travel at 41.7%, lack of rivalries at 33.3%, and others at 16.7%. Conference too big, 8.3%. The too much travel. The one thing I think they'll do, Jimmy, it'll be either every other year or every 2 years, every 3 years.
Right.
Because these conferences will be so big. My curiosity is when these conferences get to, you might have the 2 or 3 super conferences that get to 20 or 25 teams apiece. Then you break them down in divisions like the AFC and the NFC and the National Football League, and then have those divisions within and have your 4 or 5 teams play each other, and then those teams play their playoffs from within. I think that's eventually what you're going to get to. But the lack of rivalries, I think the USC, UCLA going to the Big Ten, the same with Oregon and Washington State.
Right.
Going to the Big Ten.
Oregon and Washington.
Oregon, Washington. And then when you have ASU, U of A, they're going to the Big 12. Utah, BYU, they're going to be in the Big 12. Colorado, that natural rivalry. Colorado's rivalry was Nebraska.
It was.
Yeah, so they're in the Big 10. So I don't know if they're even on the schedule. I think they were last year. So periodically they'll do that. So I think a lot of the rivalries will stay intact.
I think what fans have to realize, too, from Phoenix to Seattle is 2.5 hour flight. That's the same distance, 2.5 hour flight, if you were going to go play Iowa State in Iowa. It's a 2.5 hour flight to Des Moines. And so if
2 minutes
from that standpoint, when you talk about the travel times, those long trips that you would make to the Pacific Northwest are very similar to what you're going to do now. And you're going to go play in Texas. So it's a 2 hour flight to, say, get to in Oklahoma. If you're going to play Oklahoma State, 2.5 hour flight. It's all relative from that standpoint.
Matter of fact, a lot of those Big 12 teams take buses. No, they'll take a bus. Remember, they'll go maybe 3-4 hour bus ride versus the flight for a lot of them, depending. When we went to, obviously, KU, it's just about 2 hour, hour and a half from Manhattan.
That's a bus ride.
But, the Oklahoma's like you going to Nebraska. It was a 2.5 hour ride to Nebraska.
Yeah.
Some of them, they don't have to fly. To Colorado, obviously, we flew.
Right.
Also, just a couple of tidbits. San Diego State was trying to put the Mountain West and Pac-4 that are left for next year, trying to do that. SMU is looking at maybe the ACC. So there's a lot of movement still to be had, but the ACC has tabled some things, and the Mountain West has tabled some things for now, as far as that is concerned. Tomorrow, Jimmy, we're going to be in the studio. We'll catch up with Eric Williams from Fox Sports. He's traveling the NFC West. We'll get his thoughts on all the teams. We'll start our Campus Quickies going tomorrow. We'll get ASU, U of A, and NAU. And then Vic Lombardi from Altitude Sports up there in Denver. He'll join us and talk about the new sheriff in town, that being Sean Payton with the Denver Broncos.
The big matchup Friday night.
The big matchup. And if Vic is sobered up after the championship of the Denver Nuggets, we tried to track him down the day after. No, the day of the parade.
Yeah,
we're gonna happen.
I don't think so.
He just told. I think it was Richie was on the board. Said, well, he goes, I'm in a bar. Probably wouldn't be good for me to come on.
Yeah, good move on his part.
So good show tomorrow and great show this afternoon out here at Barrio Queen.
You got it, Jax. As always, thank you, Sandra, back in the studio. We will do it again tomorrow. Fox Sports 910.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
Here is slow.